Howdy, everyone. Uh-oh. Why does that button not work? I haven't streamed in a long time, and it turns out my stream deck is not... is borked. Well, that's good news. How's it going, everyone? It's actually been a while since I last streamed, to be honest. I don't remember. It was like 3 weeks ago now. But hello. How's everyone going? Thank you for the birthday wishes. For the big 30 next month. Well, good luck. When you turn 30, your knees disappear. So, hope you have had good use of your knees. Man is old, look at him. I know, right? Yeah, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Figured I'd work on my birthday, technically. I did a bit of editing this morning. That's been going well. Your bro's birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to your bro. That's awesome. Yeah, the video this week's almost done, which is good. Getting it nice and early. And I thought I'd stream because I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks. And I was looking at my YouTube stats, going, it seems like the views are dropping. Like they're dropping for other reasons. I was like, it's weird. Like normally they don't drop this fast. I was like, oh yes, because I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks, so the Thursday like bump isn't there. But in better news, the gaming channel, if you don't know about the gaming channel, paulisbaddatstuff.gaming is not at all a website, but is a thing. Paul is Bad at Games. That latest video did really, really well. For a small channel. But, yeah. You know what I mean. How's it doing? It has 4,600 views, which for my gaming channel is incredible. Because on average I get about 200. Centurion Day. Hit the big 40 in 2 weeks? Damn. Well, you know. Sorry for your loss, I guess. Did you hear that Centurions are going into Legends 11th edition? I've heard that a lot of people suggest that, but not any not seen anything confirmed. The Blackman with 13 months. And WavyBot as well for the 2 months. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming a member, or continue to be a member on that one. I think 30 on Thursday, rip.
Happy birthday, Paul. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing good, thank you. I was ill last week, which is really annoying. I came down with something on Wednesday, and it lasted till probably Sunday, to be honest. Honestly, still not 100%, I don't think, but close enough. Then your first 2-day tournament went 0-5? Hell yeah. Yeah, if you had no Centurions, that's the problem. But did you have fun? That's the main thing. Or is approaching some young Necrons in age. True. Centurion is an incredibly white model with a bunch of weapons. Tonight's castle encounters a Centurion. I guess it's that that meme with the grid where it's like function purist, form purist. It'd be somewhere in the middle, I suppose. Where's my party hat? I tried looking for a party hat in VTuber Studio, but I couldn't find one, unfortunately. So I guess I'm just bald and continue to be bald. My parents got me a card that says fortune favors the bald, which was very funny. I actually made that joke at a recent tournament. What flavor birthday eggs do you have? Egg flavored? I was about to throw somebody recently with AOS. It's something I'm missing there. Love the content, please help. Any interest in AOS Spearhead? I've played Spearhead. I enjoy Spearhead. I do want to play more AOS. It's something I need to get around to. Yes, I do want to play some AOS. I think a lot of people have enjoyed the battle reports and the way the maps work, which is quite good. Like my latest video it got 100k views, which is very nice. We do need our rubber match, Steve. Yes. At some point. Yeah, kind of for my voice. Yeah, my voice is still a little bit low, but also I think it's just I haven't done because I haven't been streaming, and also the videos. Once I do the recording for those, I don't speak that much, so I haven't actually spoken much at all, because I haven't done any recording, any streaming, so my voice is kind of out of practice, I suppose. You get a bit better. You brought an army. Nice, Ivy. Took your time. Got yourself a nice Warhammer model gun plus a present? No, well, I'm probably going to get the, yeah. The rest of the sentence will follow once I remember it. I'll probably get the Terminator box that's coming out this weekend, because Assault Terminator sounds very cool. So I'll say that's for my birthday. Are you secretly my friend's new girlfriend? It's her birthday today. Probably not, but it's a non-0% chance. Actually, it's a 0% chance, but happy birthday to her. First time checking out a stream and watching the videos while painting my random mess of model projects. Have you ever considered painting an emotional support centurion like an Emperor TTS or when the war gets a little bit too bored? I mean, I've got 18 emotional support centurions, I suppose. Yeah, I think next... Well, it'll be interesting, obviously, because next year is probably going to be 11th edition, right? I also have a lot of tournaments next year. So if I'm going to do AOS, it's probably going to be sometime... Well, I'm also going to Japan next year on holiday. So sometime between coming back from Japan and 11th edition, maybe we fit in some AOS. But no promises. When are you going to continue the completed backlog? I don't have a fucking clue. I'll be honest. I might try and do something for the charity stream this year, but I haven't had time to plan the charity stream. It's really annoying. So it might be a delayed one.
Happy birthday.
But I might have to like do a cut-off
will
at some
touch
point.
the sky. Finished my first tournament 2-3 and I was 43
That's just how
out
healthy
of
I was
80.
considered rude. What
IT was a teams of 5. Good luck.
D. Herman, thank you very much for the new membership. Finished first tournament 2-3. Hell yeah! Congratulations. I went to a tournament recently. Last weekend? No, weekend before. Just a one-day. I went 2-1, but I got as many points. The only people who had more points than me were the top 10 out of 60 something. So it was the top 10 who all went basically like 3-0, and then maybe a couple of them were 2-1, and then my 1-2 score had the most points. But I was the best loser basically. I used to do so much paint to justify getting the 11th edition box. Yeah, I bet it did any of the 11th edition box. Yeah, Steve's done it as well. 13 months from Steve. Thank you very much. When did I... What first edition I remember? I remember 3rd. Good.
Aha. I found it.
You did indeed. Yeah, so 11th edition, I think, because it's a 3-year cycle, right? And 11th edition came out... Sorry, 10th edition came out in 2023. The next year will be 3 years. Which is crazy. It does not feel like it's been... It's gone quick, right? Because I started the channel in 2022. How much 40k are you playing today to celebrate? Probably none, to be honest. Today, you're just going to chat for a bit. Just to check in with people. So you can also just bask in my birthday and listen to me ramble. I've got some stuff I need to do this afternoon, but that's fine. I'm working on a few models. I used Streaking Grime the first time over the weekend. First of all, it stinks, but it does I was going to say the flavor, the smell does dissipate. Second, very cool. Third, very messy. And then what's the point of a birthday? The point of a birthday when you get to my age is to have an existential crisis, basically. Mostly what it's for. Will I get into a local one? I'm running Vastron vehicles. Hell yes. Run what you want. So about 4% of the 10th edition box. Haven't done any of the Terminators, which I think I was most excited for. Yeah, I have done basically none of the box, right? What was in the box? Terminators, Infernus, Vanguard, and Tyranny. Oh yeah, I've basically done none of it. I don't think I've used any of it. But I do want to get the Terminator Assaults, because I think basically I've got a video coming up, not probably in a few weeks' time, which is basically going to be talking about how you would run 36 Centurions, but also how I would have to run 0 just in case they do go away. Obviously, 11th will change things, but might be an idea. Green Garage is the worst. I'll have to do it all this terrain. I'm basically gets everywhere. It does get everywhere is the problem. We can TTS the 36 endgame. Thing is, I'm actually pretty close to being able to just play 36 Centurions. I do kind of want to take it to a tournament before they go to Legends. I have 18 plus 3 more boxes, although one of them I want to use for... I'll get it eventually in my brain. One of them I want to use for the Chapter Master. I've got 6 Saturnines. That's another 6. So 18, 6 Saturnines is 24. I only need 12 more, and I've got 3 boxes. That's another 9. I just need 3 more after that. We'll drop in and say happy birthday. Go back to work. All right. Cheers, totally. Thanks for dropping by. I don't assume going away. That's the thing. It may not. Which is a turkey buster. I'm not here, unfortunately. It would be very funny. Because I'm thinking with the assault terminators in Shadowmark, 10 assault terminators with hammer and shield, with a character that gives them either the blade driven deep or turn 1 infiltrate, feels absurd, right? That's essentially 42 up 4 up wounds, and when they attack they're doing like 30 attacks with hammers, or you could do it with it won't be as powerful because it's only 3 wounds per model. You could do it with a librarian terminator or something, or a terminator actually no, that's it. Use terminator ancient, and they also have like OC2 each. You just drop that down and go, oh right, hit me. I mean, it is a lot of points, is the problem. What would you do if rather than go to Legend they made new ones? I would, well, if they made new ones, I just couldn't use the old ones, right? You just kind of upscale them a bit. But if they made new ones, that's just more for the pile. What do you think of the Imperial Fist attachment? Is it good with Vanguard vets? The new Imperial Fist one, I don't think it's I can't remember. I don't think it's that good. It's just not as good as Shadowmark Talon. Vanguard gets codex, we keep Vanguard characters and use new codex, we keep playing the new one. Depends what's in the codex, right? If they put Shadowmark in the codex, then I'll use Shadowmark. Although I do want to do a proper Screaming Ravens at some point, where I don't use any named characters. The problem is, if I'm going to tournaments, is Shan and Shrike are just too goddamn good. They're just amazing. Also bringing back the Invictus Tactical War Suits, things also applies to new Vanguard attachment. I have been thinking about that. In my latest video, not the latest video? Tournament video, I did talk about adding a couple of Invicta War Suits, because they are insane. Make a Screaming Ravens if you ever consider running pure heavy models like Centurions, Terminators, Dreadnoughts. Not without the Jumpy Boys, because I think the Jumpy Boys are part of the Screaming Ravens, right? That kind of fast part. I have added a list which is basically like all the Dreadnoughts, the Storm Raven, and like Centurions. But again, it's kind of a silly list. With fast-hitting armies like Blood Angels, World Eaters, and Craft World Eldar, I have not great... I'm bad against those. Generally, I win against those if they don't utilize that speed as much as they should. Although I have played against a few quite fast things. You can confuse them. The way I've worked out is you confuse them by just standing really, really far back and then using Shadowmark Talent to throw Centurions all over the place. That's how I do it. But after Ivy's 6-month resub, or remember.
Woo, 6 months.
Woo.
Do you think we'll see the Primaris Dreadnought types get more weapons options?
Probably not. I think they're in a pretty good place at the moment. You get 3 types. Maybe. They might release a different one, although I don't know what else they have. They've got a melee one, a shooty one, and a mixed one. I don't know what else they would want. When you plan on doing those 1,000 Suns? I do owe painting 1,000 Suns from my 50k subscriber goal. So I do owe you that. I'm at 75k now, so clearly I've been very quick on that. Just been, undesirable, let's say. Yeah, the tournament I went to last time, because of the way the Winchester RTT works, they follow UKTC, and they have a rules cut-off, which was the week before the tournament. And then during the week is when they updated the FAQ to allow Shadowmark Talent to have +1 to wound. So I didn't get +1 to wound, and it would have helped a goddamn lot to have. So I feel like I'm unlocked now. Talking with normal humans. So the canon for Screamer Ravens talking is that they cannot physically talk louder than a scream, and so they have sign language, which I learned apparently Raven Guard already have sign language. They have their own dialect of sign language, and they use that outside of battle, and then inside of battle they just shout and scream. Maybe add a Warlord Warhound Titan to the Screaming Raven. No, but I have thought about a Lancer, but I still need to sort out at some point. Would I like to be a Centurion? Hell yeah. I love Centurion armor. Be cool. You weren't slow, you just gained 25k subs super fast. I mean, to be fair, yes, it did accelerate. It's slowing down a little bit now. It's kind of got into a good status quo. I was hoping potentially we hit 100k by the end of the year, but I don't think that'll happen unless I have an absolute banger of a video. Because even like the videos in terms of like number of subscribers gained is very weird. So for example, the YouTube AI one I didn't do very well views-wise, but the number of subscribers I gained for that video was insane. And then this latest one, which is sorry, I'm fiddling with stuff. I should... Latest one, which is the tournament one. Lots and lots of views, not many subscribers. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I think even jokingly going, don't forget to subscribe, does actually work. So please don't forget to like and subscribe on the stream right now and give me all of your money. Because it's my birthday and you have to. How's Magus Paint going? Still haven't done the base, which is annoying. But he is painted, which is good. I do need to do 1,000 Sons of Drukhari. The Drukhari Codex, by the way. Drukhari Codex. Hell yeah. That thing's awesome. You're the only VTuber for me. Oh yeah. So you mentioned in 4K Subrix, someone talked about how great Centurions are. Every time Centurions come off, someone always mentions it. It's very funny. So right, I'm looking into 30 Terminators, 6 Obliterators, or 3 Heldrakes. Or all 3. Have you thought about that? 3 Heldrakes will be... 3 Heldrakes will just be hell to actually create. I get what they mean by plastic crack. Speaking of plastic crack, this week's video coming out on Friday. It's a Pile of Shame video. Oh boy. Hey, I try my subscription to Simon Cash directly out of your wallet. Damn it! Not again. We're at the Chaos Crystals box. That is a good one, actually. My favorite box is probably the Troll box. The Gloomspite Gits. Just because it's like all trolls. I'm not going to get it because I really don't need more stuff right now. Saying that I am going to get the Terminators, but that's for the Screamer Ravens. Yeah. I must now purchase 6 kits of Dev Citrus Teacher the Error for Waste. Nini Tenebrae. 2 months, thank you very much. Ultimate Pips for Pilot Show video. It would have been on streams, but I've closed it for now. So it's a stream VOD of ones I've already reviewed. $1,000 too much to spend on a passion project. Want to make a giant Gene Cult grill to use as a Warhound Titan in Apocalypse, but it's stretching credulity for something I might only use a few times ever. Yeah, I guess it depends how if you're going to get $1,000. Well, even if you don't get $1,000 worth of value, like. Is it something you want to do? Is it something you think you will do? Do you think it'll be cool? Then do it. I think at this point it's like one of the things where it's like, if it's a high amount of upfront cost, it is a bit more difficult. But if you can take it in like parts, and then tap out at some point, then. But yeah, if you think it's going to be cool and you want to do it, do it. Why does your YouTube model have a darker blue shirt when the thumbnail shirt is more light? Probably because I made this, or I had this this model made back when I was kind of changing the shirts each time, and now I've to save time on the video making, I basically stuck with one color and it's slightly brighter. That's why. Your first 40k model that you built that was not official was a Baneblade. That's a choice. Recently got to Warhammer. Your videos have been very enjoyable. Awesome. Thank you for enjoying them. If you could excommunicate Centurions, you could just make them into parade form. Yeah, I could make them a diorama. Then I'd have to be good at painting. The off chance Centurions get squatted and not upgraded, will you keep true special? I'll probably continue the Scream Raymons. Yeah, Scream Raymons are really fun. The gameplay, the game style. Rexia, thank you for the super chat.
What if we brought 21 Centurions and 3 Land Raiders?
Then you would have excellent army. I like the Scream Ravens playstyle. The thing with the Scream Ravens playstyle is it works so well because of Centurions, and now that the because obviously Vanguard Spearhead with the Ural Ventures where they could deep strike, people were using them, and then they stopped. But I was like, but they're still good. You just bring them on the table edge. And now that you can get free uppy downy from Athan Sharp, people have gone, oh yeah, Centurions are fucking broken. 330 points. So that's very funny. So people realize that, and then they've been used again. And but that playstyle is what I like. So I could definitely find that playstyle even without Centurions. Just have to find something else to do it. The thing with Centurions is Centurions are both anti-tank and anti-infantry and anti-elite, and they're anti-everything. They're insane. Would you rather pure rule of cool or purely optimized to win? It's a mix. That's the thing. I have lost games recently, in fact, where I've gone for a rule of cool when or I've gone for a greed play when I really shouldn't. But it's just it's funny. Like, it's enjoyable. Like against the Gar player JP, he tried to charge Sly Marbo into my Phobos Lieutenant, failed the charge. So I went, you know what? I'm just going to charge you back. Got into him, whiffed the melee. He killed him and then was able to consolidate onto an objective. So I actually lost out there. But it was just like looking at that, going, even in a tournament, like that's not the correct play, but it's still Warhammer, right? And a lot of people play like that. Everyone's general tournaments maybe want to try one day. I'm going to city thing with army, and I'm going to base my Necrons on CC unit. What are that CC units? Well, that is. What do you think more of a challenge for your army? An army of swarms or an army of vehicles? Probably swarms. Swarms are more of a challenge. Vehicles aren't that hard. The Sisters Crusade? Hell yeah. Good luck. So the LGC, me and my mate also played. It was such an amazing experience. You think you will go again next year? Probably. The only time was the awful Travelodge you stayed at. I stayed at a Travelodge. It was all right. It was a Travelodge. Like here's the thing with the Travelodge is it's the most. It gets you a bed and a place to sleep and a place to wash and maybe some food. Fine. If successfully age 1 year, we would truly find one thing Paul is good at. It's true. Very true. So to do another army, what would you do more? Would you do a more serious army? Would you do something like 6 Split Raiders? No, I think my kind of, I guess, serious army is probably Thousand Suns, just because there's not many choices to be silly with it. I mean, you could do like 30 Scarab Occults, but 30 Scarab Occults is also quite good. And Drukhari is the other one where I kind of started, when I first collected, I was like, I'm going to go loads and loads of Hellions. And right now, potentially, loads and loads of Hellions is really, really good. So, I don't know. I kind of just like playing the things I like playing. We say Devastator Drones are the best part of the units. They just seem like a lot of killing power. Frosty the Donkey, resubscribed for 9 months. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah.
Long live the Screaming Ravens.
Long live the Screaming Ravens, indeed. I'll subscribe because it's your birthday. Thank you very much. Would you say Devastator Drones missiles are the best part? It's not so much that it's the best part, but it basically, the Centurions without them, let's say they only had Hurricane Bolters, they would be fine. Like, they could still probably do a decent amount of damage, but the fact that they have these, like, Blast, Strength 9, D3 damage, -2 missiles, as well as las cannons, makes them absurd. Oh, and by the way, putting the 2 lots of 3 Assault Centurions into one big block of 6, 100% worked. They were awesome. They did so well this time. Oh, amazing. I love them. Why am I so bad at stuff? Because it's just, you know, at this point, contractual obligation to be bad. DC close combat. Makes sense. I would say the best way to learn to play Warhammer 40k is someone who's only got into Warhammer a year ago has 2k points. I would say, if you don't know the rules at all, go and basically learn it phase by phase. Find someone who knows it and who will teach you. And also find someone who will learn and teach you and basically tell you what to do in terms of like tactical as well. Don't play with and then skip out stratagems, enhancements, even like detachment rules. Skip out all of that. Just ignore that. Start building up them slowly. I am trying to... I was going to make a video on how to play, but I might do it for 11th edition. Like, teach people how to play. Because it's a very difficult thing to do if you haven't got anyone, like, there to help you. Well, my mother's maiden, I'm not telling you that. I want to make my third army. I haven't completely painted a single model. Don't know why I do this myself. Because you like to build and play the game. I don't mind playing against unpainted minis. I don't mind playing against like limited proxies in terms of like as long as they make sense. At tournaments it is different because I think it's a kind of celebration event. It also kind of stops people from being able to go, oh, Centurions are good. I'm going to 3D print a bunch of them and not paint them, right? That's where that comes in. But I think at like any other kind of smaller thing, I think not having painting is fine. Warhammer Timberborn Day, my fiance is over the moon you play that game. I need to do more Timberborn. Start a new run of that. Because that's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's draw a lot because of how beautiful chunky they are, but Saturnine Terminator Dreadnoughts hit the same notes. I really like the Saturnines without the shoulder pads. I did build the Saturnine Praetor. I've given him both melee weapons. I haven't put the shoulders on. He looks fucking cool. He's going to be a custom character for the Supreme Romans eventually. Chance more Spearhead or just AOS support? No, I've not had time, and I really want to try and get into it again. Force myself to paint minis before I buy a new box. That is the thing, right? Like when it's like I'm forcing myself to do it, it's like I don't want to force myself because it just makes me not enjoy it. But also I understand, like otherwise if you don't have that discipline, you will just build up a pile of shame. Flash from Necrons with 8 Centurions brought in a Devastator Squadron Reserve. Silent King. Yeah, Silent King goes down like a bag of hammers. Although I do know that Necrons is one I haven't played against in a long time, and I don't like the last time I played against Necrons, or the last 2 times I played against Necrons, was All's Catan, and then Reese's horrific, like giant robot mash, which was. Silent King, a big squad of the Wraiths, Tesseract Vault, and a Monolith. And I killed 3 or 4 of those. I didn't quite kill the Wraiths, and his current list has like 2 blocks of Wraiths, I think, or at least 1 block. Those Wraiths are horrible. They just don't die. That's champion. The character is going to be essentially kind of a lone op. Deep striking melee guy. And then I can also, because he's on a 50 mil base, he's about the same height as a Terminator Captain. I can just use him as a Terminator Captain. Would you think running a model you find cool as a different model is fine? For instance, I have Tor Garrison running it in Dark Angels Army as Captain Graf. Yeah, absolutely fine. As long as it is consistent, and I think they're roughly the same, right? Because again, like I just said, I've got this Saturnine without the shoulders with 2 big weapons that I can probably run as a because it's the same base and about the same height as a Terminator Captain. As long as it's easy to identify. That's the main thing, I think, when people talk about proxies and that stuff, is it's only when you go, oh, I've got a squad here, this guy has, like, they all have bolters, but this guy has the las cannon, or something like that. When I run my F-Zero-X jump pack guys as jump pack intercessors, I only have 1 plasma pistol, despite the fact that you can have 2 in that squad. I only ever use 1 because I go, because one of them is very easy to identify which one has the power fist because he has a power fist looking weapon, and he can also have a plasma pistol. it's very difficult to go, oh, by the way, the other plasma pistol is like this guy. When I play with my my blade guard, I have an easy one to identify for the Neo-Volkite, but a lot of the time I will forget. So usually I just ignore the Neo-Volkite. You're 35? I am. 35. So young. Beautifully young. Born in the 90s. Born in the 90s, in fact. Wait for another video. Another year of attention. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's coming up to the end of the year, right? Almost a year full time. That's fucking scary. That's absurd. I don't like that. I see people who are destined to call for the vote. Exactly right. Like, they're basically the same. Yeah, I was like, I can basically tell who the older people are. I bet all these people go, oh, 35, I used to be so much child. I bet they're like 36. But it's okay, because I do the same thing as well. If you're 34, oh, you're young and you're spring chicken. 34. 35, perfect age. 36, in the grave. Convert to chaos, turn me to split raise. Nah. Yeah, there you go, 37. I can't kidding you. Back pain unlocked this year. Damn, you're lucky. My back pain unlocked years ago. You still do Gunpla? Also, my friend have Son of Horus. My other friend tell me to get Custodian Guard. Which one should I get? Flip a coin. I do still do Gunpla. I have a plan for a Gunpla video which will be released 2 weeks actually. Yeah, this week will be a shame. Next week hopefully will be quite a fun one. Week after that will be a Gunpla video, because I think it's basically it'll basically be a year since my last proper Gunpla video, which is crazy. Some of my friends have been complaining about getting old rage pains for years, and I'm a fat little with no medical complaints till very recently. But there you go. Yeah, I was doing a lot better with like chronic pain before I got made redundant, because I've just not been going to the gym enough. I've been doing the dance. Like, I've continued dancing lessons, which has actually helped me get a little bit of exercise, and that has been a lot of fun. Was there yesterday actually, doing some quick step, learning some. Did you learn anything new in quick step, or was it just kind of reinforcing stuff? Oh, there was a thing we did. I can't remember it now. My teacher's going to be very upset at me, but I don't really mind, because she will never ever watch this kind of stuff. She doesn't play Warhammer. But what were we doing? I think we were just kind of learning stuff. The thing is, when we go to the class I'm in, I'm basically the only lead. It's really annoying, because not annoying, but it's like I'm the person who as the lead you have to kind of know what you're doing, and like rotate through all the other people. I'm just like I need backup. I need other people to actually be able to help these followers. Yeah, shoulders are bad for me. I need to make sure I stay straight, so I'm stick up. Hey Christian, how's it going? Punish to toast, one name. Maybe able to help my Raven Guard friend make better lists. Is it if the answer is just shove like 20 Centurions in there, you'll be fine. Remember the birthday theme channel for your Discord. You need to paint 1 Centurion each. Look, whenever I've done paint jams, again, paint jam is something that I need to bring back. It might be a little while, because again, it's just been very busy. I never want to force people to buy it, so don't want to do a paint jam challenge like paint a Centurion, because people don't have Centurions, they can't really participate. It's not really fair. 5 gift memberships from Lord Blood Pulse 12. Fuck, I'm dead. Thank you very, very much for the gifted subs. Happy birthday to me. It's going busy, yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of projects on at the moment, which I very much sympathise with. A lot of projects. Porter's born in October and plays Beaky faction in the most orky way. It's true. Like paint jams seem like character infantry squad. Yeah, the way I do paint jams is I have a kind of more esoteric theme which you can then work whatever model you want around. That's kind of the plan. Is basically to have like a, you know, the themes are something where you could basically do anything you want as long as you can fit it within the theme. I haven't had a good idea for a theme yet. Yeah, now that to be fair, like, but now that I am doing more crossovers and more collabs, that I will actually start looking into that. Because I did say, like, you know, trying to build up my own thing, but now that I am doing more collabs, I will look into some other people. Yeah, I've got contacts. People know me. I know people. For example, you know, I know Bricky because he does the merch. In which you haven't seen the merch, paulisballetstuff.shop. The body pillow finally arrived and is actually ridiculously comfortable. It's really good. I really like it. Obviously, part of that's going to be the pillow inside it, right? But, you know, the actual material of the cover is good. Can I just ask, do you really go to jail in the UK for memes now? Probably not. A lot of that is kind of like conjecture, and there's usually a lot more to it. But that's politics. I'm not going to talk about that. Bubblegum Pop Krieg as a second army. Those ones are like 95% of days, so I can't start another army yet. True. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm not starting another army, because I do have 3, and I barely touched the other 2. I do want to play Drukhari because, oh god, the Drukhari Codex looks awesome. Fucking love it. Does the woman like? Oh, the woman loves it. Like, I think she prefers cuddling Paulo than Paul. What's the shop again? It's not linked in the description, isn't it? It's oh, here. Let me. Unfortunately, that doesn't make an actual clickable link. I don't think. So you're gonna have to copy paste it, and if you're on mobile, type it again. The objective markers are the most popular by far. I think I've sold over 50 of those, which is crazy. Like, people love the objective markers. I think they are the best product, to be fair. That's fucking cool. I can't wait to see them out in the wild. I know someone someone was in chat when I spoke about this. Someone came up to me. I was like, "Oh, those are Paul's Valet stuff's objective markers." I went, "Yeah," and he looked at me and went, "You're Paul's Valet stuff, aren't you?" I went, "Yep." It took him a while to connect to the fact that I was a bald bearded guy, and I think he saw the Centurions and went, "Ah, shit!" I've just walked up to a guy, gone, "Hey, I like that guy too," and gone, "Oh wait, it's the guy." I have multiple people at your local store that use your objective markers. Really? Hell yeah! Shout out to your local store. I just started my second army. I'm so confused. If you want to be taught how to play Drukhari, go watch Archon Skari, because I think he's. Last I checked, he was second in the world. Crazy. Is the next part of Shame for the good highlight just to be you highlighting people's pets? I do need to do a pets of Paula's Ballot stuff. Happy birthday, you get more Centurions? I did not get more Centurions. You see my objective to let friendly. I imagine the thing is a lot of these are going to be in the US, because I think some people have gone. I've definitely heard from some people go, "Oh, I want to get those objective markers in the UK," and gone, "Oh, shipping," which is unfortunate. But it just means you have to buy more of my stuff to make the shipping worth it. 2 people who have the Paul faces and one guy used the combo Paul and Adric. Hell yeah, I'd love to see pictures. But you may have already sent pictures, to be fair. I know if people have. Should I buy magic cards or Tau or both? Both. Always be consuming. Sweet Silver, thank you for the super chat.
Hi Paul,
hello.
I love your videos. I want to make a Screaming Ravens Company 1000 pints. Do you have tips or lore to inspire the build?
I mean, first of all, thank you. Basically, what you want is kind of look at the way this kind of Screaming Ravens work, right? They're loud and they're fast. So find your loudest things and find your fastest thing. You're probably going to want at least 6 Centurions. Just in general, to be honest. You're going to want some jump pack stuff. And then from there, it's kind of free. If you want some bikes in there, they're fast. Josuke? Josuke? Thank you very much for becoming a member. Yeah. So anything fast, anything heavy. Any sort of dreadnought, storm ravens, bikes. But I mean, Centurions have got to be in there, right? Centurions are just cool. Are you going to the Throne of Skulls event at Warhammer World this weekend? I'm not. No, I am away this weekend. I can see some mad like using the white scars attached for Scream Ravens. Honestly, yeah. Everyone thinks you look like your YouTube avatar. I do, which is why it's very funny. Like, people are like, oh, face reveal. And I'm like, not exciting. Right, anyone who is currently watching who did meet me, who has met me at tournaments, or who met me at the LGT, it's not an exciting thing, is it? My face reveal, because you look at me and go, that's a bald bearded guy who's quite lanky. I look like my avatar, including the thin arms. Yeah, the thing with the Screaming Ravens is that playstyle works for basically every single detachment, which will come up when I discuss 36 Centurions. I recently bought 2 small boxes of Stronghold, but didn't know you still had to activate active code, but I like the box so much I'll buy a big one and maybe start. Hell yeah. How long will code be valid? So the code is valid when they don't have another sale on. So another sale will always supersede the code. So if they have a general sale, that will mean the code is not active. If they have a regular, if they don't have a sale, my code will be active. And that's how you kind of work it. Can you make us a Screaming Raven list to use as the AI in Horde mode? That's a good idea. Might look into that. Basically, just buy Centurions. Centurions and then jump packs and then just cycle them back and forth. Speaking of things being fast and coming back over and over, I got the latest White Dwarf, and there's a mode in that which is awesome. It's basically, it's 500 points, mounted units only. You don't need a character, so you can give you the enhancements they show, you can give them to units. There's a stratagem that allows you to bring it back, and it's basically just bikes. It's just all bikes. Cool as hell. That's like half the 40k player state. Exactly, which is it's so funny being like, oh, by the way, if you want to find me at a tournament, I'm the bald bearded guy. And then go, ha, that's half the people in the room. You want me to get into Gunpla? Hell yeah, Gunpla's awesome. Looks like how to shape Fire Slayer, very true. Is that the Tabletop Stronghold company that uses the magic of magnets to make your carry case? It is, indeed. Thanksgiving rules I've also seen, yeah, they're very funny.
It's your Zoggin birthday.
15 GM, thank you.
Birthday cake emoji, collision emoji, happiest birthday, you're beautiful, loudest, boom lovin' Biki, from all the boys in Mechtalika's Wag.
Wag. That's collision emoji? That's very funny. You looked exactly as I'd imagined. Friend got a pic with you, and I even got to see the famous Goofy shirt. Your VTuber is the most accurate depiction of a VTuber, the real person. Exactly, right? Maybe the real Paul is about stuff with the friends made along the way. It is. Are the objectives made of neoprene? What does it say? What's neoprene? Might tell me. See if someone else has got an objective marker that has actually said what they're made of. I actually don't know, to be honest. They're made of objective marker material. That's as much as, unfortunately, that's about as much as I can help you. They are made of objective marker. Like, they feel the same as the ones I got from that website. No, the shop, Element Games. They feel the same as those. That's about as best I can help. I don't know if anyone's actually got objective markers anymore on the site. Good, Bricky probably has some objective. That was ridiculous, huh? I guess not. Anyway, they're made of objective marker material. They're made of mousepad essentially. They feel like an objective marker. But the chance of playing you at TC tournament might make me need to sign up for their membership. I haven't been able to go to one, and they keep selling out too quick. I think they sold out all the way to like the middle of March next year, which is a shame. I do want to go back to one of theirs. They're a lot of fun. The codex has less units. It has less units, but it's a very cool codex. The thing that's very funny about it is it kind of reminds me of when Aatrox changed. If you ever played League of Legends back when Aatrox was not current Aatrox. Because basically, he got changed, but right before he got changed, he became quite meta. So obviously there's a lot of like screaming about it. So when obviously Drukhari got rid of like the beast pack and stuff, people were like, oh, the beast pack gone. But like up until I think like 10th, like the beast pack wasn't really that used. And then it obviously became meta and very useful. But then you have things that do the beast pack job for you now. Hopefully, I think they'll get a big refresh. I think there's a lot of potential in Drukhari, and I think they're probably going to get a refresh in 11th. I'm torn between your objective markers and all-spec ones. I like Silly Pool, but also like the transparent all-specs ones because they're thematic and don't hide the ground. That is the thing. If you're someone who does want the game to have a little bit of, verisimilitude, my objective markers aren't great. But you can also say that they are basically like weird warp spawns that are there to cause problems in your face. Man, why do you bring up my boy Aatrox, the basically old Aatrox thing? I was one of those people who used to play old Aatrox before he got good. And I still think new Aatrox is cooler. I haven't played League of Legends in years, to be fair, like properly. New Aatrox is just cooler, unfortunately. New Aatrox is just a better champion. Did you get yourself a birthday 40k? I did not. So yes, on the mouse material. Yes, they are made of mouse mat. They are made of... Would tell me if you stated it? I guess so. To be fair, I've sold a lot of those. They are very popular. Played League 110 champ releases ago? Yeah, I played League... Well, I played League since the beta. I remember when the 100th champion came out. But new Aatrox is incredible. I love new Aatrox. Weird leering face staring at the ground very quick. Exactly, that's the thing. Could sell more of that? I could sell more though. There's a lot of ways I could sell more stuff. I like by advertising it more. Like there was definitely a bit of an uptick of going to the shop when I revealed the. It was very funny though when I showed the body pillow, because I've been waiting for that for a while to be delivered to me. And people were like, "Oh my god, you've made this thing!" It's like, yes, but if you've ever been to the shop, you would have seen it there. It's still there. That's used the verisimilitude. It's one of my favorite words, verisimilitude. Very cool. Dear Paul, we have a midlife crisis to your 30s. I'm pretty sure that's what this channel is. Let's be real. This channel is a cry for help. This is my midlife crisis. I just ordered your face as objective marks. Hell yeah. How long do you think they'll take the ship to US? I don't... US, not long, because they come from the US. The US is the best place to get them. They ship from the US, so they shouldn't be too bad for you. Oh, what am I? I'm 35 today. This is pretty good at aging. This is false advertising. To be fair, VTuber models don't age. Would you add a Titan to your collection streamer moments? Probably not. No. Dream Warhammer opponent. Not gonna lie, I want to play against Robin Williams if he was still with us. That is fair. I'd love to play against Scary. I don't want him to like coach or anything or teach me the game. I just want to play a game against him, see what happens, and go, what can I learn from that? And then never play him again. Just play him once and then just never again. I'd love to play against just because I like AEW and I think he's a really cool guy. I want to play against Claudio Castagnoli because he's a big 40k person and he's also a big person. Yeah, honestly, anyone who's cool. I like playing against a load of people. I quit League because it was making me into a really bad person. Yeah, like I hated playing ranked just because I hate the toxicity. Like even small amounts. Like I got like ladder anxiety type stuff. But sometimes I get over it and be like, it's just not that fun on your own. And then when you play with friends, it's fun to play with friends, but then if you take it, like, I played it with, you know, mid-20s, where it was a bit more like, rough and tumble. Now I just don't give a shit. First time I ever heard the word verisimilitude was Viva Vendetta. Hey, it's coming up to Viva Vendetta season. We usually watch that every year. At around you've guessed it, the 5th of November. Would you have a Knight to the Ravens? I would love to add a Lancer. I'm still in the kind of umming and ahhing about making a Gumpler Lancer. Halo needs more bulge. No, it needs to be the most unappealing looking thing in the world. Maybe the bulge would make it more unappealing, to be fair. Will Paul, I was about to say, if I do kill team content? Never say never. It's definitely like a game I would like to play. Like, those skirmish games are quite good. I also, like, I played Shatterpoint quite a few weeks ago now, but that was very fun. Henry Cavill or Vin Diesel, yeah, they're all good. Also, just like other people from the community that I'd love to play against, like, you know, I've played against Christian Falcone now. I'd love to play him again because that game was a lot of fun, to be fair. You know, just anyone from the community playing a game against them, that'll be fun. Or who else is kind of like a famous-ish? I'd like to play against the Tabletop Tactics guys as well. They're fun. You know, play against the Liam Dempsey people because they're just up the road. Definitely go with them. At some point, once they've sorted out their hobby house. Yeah, the Lancer for the Scream Remnants makes a lot of sense because it's such a Scream. It's a giant robot with a big bloody sword or a big lance. Like, play on Tabletop the guys. I'd love to play against them. I can vouch that the Dark Elder Kill team is very fun. That is cool. Yeah, I enjoy playing because I played the I played in the 2nd edition. I played a bit of the Thousand Sons one. They're quite cool. Would you accept to be on the Warhammer 40k show, but you have to be a member of the Imperial Guard? No, never mind. I wouldn't want to do that. No Imperial Guard for me. Just turned 25. Damn, I aged back 10 years. Hell yeah. Yeah, love to play against a lot of people. Obviously, logistics-wise, it's going to be more difficult, right? But I mean, tabletop simulator is cool. And it is a lot of fun to play on Tabletop Simulator, but it does. There is a physically is better, but Tabletop Simulator is good for, you know, the necessity because I play D&D online with friends, doing like Discord and then Roll20. Because whilst I barely ever play in fact physical D&D, just because the people I want to play with are all over the country or all over the world, so it does work and it works quite well. The Tabletop Simulator does work. It is a bit slower just because of how it is, but you know. Would you play Imperial Guard to save Centurions from Legends? If GW came to me and said, Paul, we are going to send Centurions to Legends unless you play Imperial Guard, I would probably play Imperial Guard. But I'd play it really wrong. That's the thing, like holding IRL dice and moving physical models hits different. Tabletop Simulator does have advantages though. You can do a lot more. You can do a lot more with it, right? Because obviously you can design. You can kind of play anything because you don't have to obviously get the models for it. Like for example, I don't think in real life if I met Christian and I said we're going to play a game of 1,000 points and I just went here and I just grabbed his models and brought them to my side of the board and then threw my Centurions at him, I don't think he'd be best impressed. But then if you're playing Imperial Guard, it means you can't play Centurions. But I mean, it only says I have to play them. Like I don't have to main them. As long as I play Imperial Guard, like what, once every 10 millennia? Well, you're the best YouTuber ever. Thank you very much. I'm curious how I would play them wrong. I'd basically just I'd have all the tanks be my front line. I won't shoot with them, I'd only charge. And then all of the infantry squads would be on the back and not move. Where's the Centurion Captain, Centurion Apothecary? I worry about ever adding a character to Centurions because they're so strong. Like, imagine getting any sort of like lethal hit on a Centurion, or being able to bring Centurions back, like in 9th, for example. Be a bit much. I'm sure to be an inch wider than taller. Hell yeah. That's because I found a kill teams for my friends. We can have fight against each other. So I have Nightclaw, Dark Elder, Mechanicus skill teams, and Necrons. I did buy because I wanted the Mandrakes. I bought the Mandrake skill team. Well, that might be fun. You could have picked Kamiya up and threw him to the other side of the table. True. Or just rotated the table upon a lazy Susan and just rotated the whole thing. When are you going to use all the YouTube money to save Centurions? I'll be honest. I think you overestimate how much YouTube money I have. Unless you want to give me more YouTube money. Yeah, YouTube pays the bills, which is good. But it's not... I think the thing is, obviously, people get the kind of scale of YouTube. Like, you see, like, the big... I dropped something on my chair, which is why I went small. Like, the big YouTubers obviously make... I can work out from what I make that if I was getting 1 million views every video, I would be able to Scrooge McDuck dive into a vault. But I don't have that many views. But like, stick around, work's getting busy, I need to go. Alright, thanks Select Man, thanks again for the for hanging out. And have a good rest of your day. The tabletop simulator is pretty good. For what it does. It's not a for me it is not a replacement for the physical game. It is an alternative. What's your favorite Warhammer meme? And which meme do you hate? I don't know enough memes, to be honest. A lot of big YouTubers don't make as much as we think they do. They spend their money so they have to look rich. True. The other thing I think is when you get to that kind of height of YouTube and you're hiring an editor and you'll be able to pump. The thing is, if I had someone who could do the editing for me, let's say I had someone who was doing like a video editing now, like I could record the video, set up all the images, and just send it to someone, I could probably make a lot more videos. But I don't want to. One, because I think to begin with, working out my workflow doesn't really work for that. Also, it just increasing the number of videos doesn't make sense. I just want to make the videos I want to make. The image of Paul Scrooge ducking into a vault of Centurions will live forever in mind. Hell yeah. Very always involves dunking on Magnus. I think from what's exactly, and also the way my process works is I kind of do make jokes during the edit. Where if I gave it to an editor, like they can make their own jokes, but they're not my jokes. And part of my humor and part of the way I make the videos requires me to do the editing myself, especially because I do some of the drawing as well. And then yeah, I would need to pay someone to do that, and if the money isn't, yeah. The boys is asking how angry you'd be if we looted some Centurions and turned them into killer cans. Hell yeah, do it. Great. If you get more Centurions are good, yeah. So make them into killer cans. Make them into just take the armor. It's good. It's good armor. Just yeah. Eat the git that's inside there. Get him out of there and just take the armor for yourself. Would you recommend getting Centurions if my only plan is to throw them out of a Stormwolf directly into the midboard melee? So far, my only thoughts are how to use them in my melee-based army. I have done that. Not with Stormwolf, with the Storm Raven. Wolf and the Raven. But yes, I would recommend doing that with the Assault Centurions. They are actually quite good to do that. You kind of have to try and hide them a little bit. Because they only move 4, but yeah. What new Centurion would you add? We got Devastator and Assault. The thing is, Devastator and Assault, there's no other kind of options in there unless you had a pure anti-infantry melee one, like a blender Centurion, like Centurions with like chainswords on their fists that had basically no, like maybe some sort of like smoke launcher type grenades in their chest so they can kind of obscure their arrival, and then they have essentially not jump packs but like boosters, so they can do like they have the normal 4 feet movement. Jesus, fast. 4-inch movement, but they auto advance 6 and can advance and charge, or something like that. Like essentially disruption Centurions. You view it here. How do you feel about Citadel versus Vallejo versus AP, etc. when it comes to paints? I basically use Citadel. I have some army painter which I also use, are quite good. I haven't really done any sort. I don't paint enough, and I don't think I paint well enough to really have an opinion. And I certainly haven't painted enough. I definitely what I want to do at some point, and maybe this is something I can do with the Terminators might be good for this when I get them. Have because you can I'll have essentially. I can essentially have like a squad of 5 where each one is painted the exact same but with a different brand. Like Citadel, Vallejo, Army Painter, 2 Thin Coats, and I'm sure there's another one I can work out. And Dark Secrets look forward to and called through. Hell yeah. One shot running on Sunday and day behind Twisted Cut. Alright. Thanks, Zedek.
Happy birthday, old man. As a celebration, you should buy some more Centurions or a new Primaris Lieutenant since they are quite rare and sought after.
Thank you very much for the membership for 5 months. To be fair, Primaris Lieutenants, I've got 2 of them on my list, and they're both very, very good. First of all, thank you very much, Matt Mullen. What do you think GW does when, as far as law changes, medals, getting Thanos snapped, and endless sort of lawsuits, Space Marine prioritization? I'm not much into the law, so don't really have much of an opinion there. I haven't really heard much about the endless lawsuit stuff either. I know there was that one lawsuit, but I know there was a lot of, like, around that. I don't really know too much, to be honest. I don't really look too much into it. I think it's a show with the higher OC. Someone made like the tactical potential with just the bolt shots or shotguns, like super close range versions. So obviously the assault Centurions are kind of like your tank buster melee, but they have some decent board clearing with the flamers or the melters or the bolters or the melters as well are very good. Having just like a very little AP on the Centurion, just basically a tanky disrupting, like get in there, blend something up, and then hold a position would be useful. Where's the F in the lieutenant? It's from the French, I believe. Lieutenant is a French word. Like, I don't know, but that's just how it's said by people who are correct. The last one could be a Frankenstein with all the best paints from each brand. Now you're cooking with gas, Sean Crosser. That's a good idea. I'll write that one down. And I will... When I get round to that video, I will probably forget that you suggested it, and I will take the credit for myself and feel like a big shot. And then you can leave a comment going, hey, that was my idea. And I'll go, ah, so it was. Another birthday today. Happy birthday! Happy birthday as well to you, Seth. It's the best birthday to have, the 21st of October. It's a good birthday. Good birthday. We have an accord, yes. We have come to an agreement.
Look at the size of that thing!
$35. The NET Wizard wishes you a positively charged and highly attractive 35th birthday. May your year be full of strong connections, and absolutely no polarity issues. P.S. When's Paul is good at stuff dropping?
Thank you very much, Magnet Wizard. Now, if I can set this up, this might work. Right. Oh, this might work. I'll just turn this down. It might be echoing though. Magnets. That might have worked. It might not have been loud enough. Thank you very much, Stronghold, for the $35. And I will attempt to return that money in sales to Table Stronghold, or you can go to tablestronghold.com right now and get yourself a Madcase 2.0 using code Paul25, I think, unless there's another sale, on which case you can get the sale off even more. Tabletop Stronghold. There's, Paul25 at checkout for a Madcase 2.0. Go now. Now, go. Right now. Do it. If you don't do it, I will end you. Because I used to stand on the left of the guy in charge at any point. Oh, fair enough. Shall I commit credit card debt for Warhammer? Probably not. So glad I got in on the time for magnets, exactly. Yeah, the rare appearance of the Magnet Wizard. Thank you very much for the super chat. What if I just buy terrain instead? I mean, you can just buy fantastic MDF terrain from table.stronghold.com if you don't want to fully commit to the power of magnets. But you can do what you want. It's your money and your life. Just had an idea. I want your opinion. I'm planning on eventually making an Adeptus Custodes army. I want to include a couple of Contemptor Dreadnoughts. However, I want to make a Death Dread. As an Imperial Loyalist, the idea is the Orc really loves the Emperor. That's a great idea. I love it. Do it. Does the Bodywheeler have... I don't even know what that is. I don't want to say it out loud in case it's something... Oh, okay. Oh. Not as standard. Not as standard. But you can do what you want with it once you buy it. Within the law, obviously. Within the law. It's just that I assume that is a thing. I've not heard of that. I'm married. Oh, dear me. What do you think about the Iron Hands using stealth tanks? Hell yeah, that's hilarious. I love it. I love stealth tanks. An STL of my head to put on our Centurions. Isn't there a bold one that comes with it? I can get a bold head and just paint a beard on it. Oh, question is, would it be funnier a golden Death Dread with the Imperial banner or a purple Death Dread? Because you'll think it can't be seen. The Gaming Beaver! I forgot how long this lasts. I've got to keep dancing. How long did I make this go for? 50 pounds from Game Weaver. Thank you very, very much.
Happy birthday, Paul. May we meet on the tabletop somewhere.
May we indeed. Are you still in Japan? I will actually be in Japan next year. If you wanna say hello, we want to say hello. Obviously, unless you're in the UK, in which case that's closer right now. I mean, we might run into each other, but hell yeah. Also, I probably won't have any models with me when I go to Japan, but definitely meet on the tabletop at some point. We want Big Head Full. Ah, that's a good idea. That'd be quite fun. Was that tuned from the next dance? It's not. It's from The Messenger. We just like to play the Messenger. Does we know what love is? I don't. It's just not something I've heard of. Yeah, there you go. It's from The Messenger, which is a brilliant game, by the way. You should play The Messenger. It's the shop tune, I think. The 8-bit. Real tomfoolery house. Watch your L-shaped rune video just before joining here. I have the totally brilliant idea where I now want to design and print L-shaped runes of your face. That would be very funny. I love the idea. Is the MDF terrain also powered by magnets or some more advanced warp sorcery? It's powered by glue. Yeah, you glue it together. But I'm sure you could probably put magnets on it somewhere. Oh. Bye, YouTube Studio. Reload that. Come back, YouTube chat. Now would be a good time to start now that I've refreshed. Right. What about magnets engraved with your face? That would be very difficult. Yeah, you could definitely do like just me in various orientations for L-shaped ruins, that's for sure. When we were doing the first merch drop, I pitched the idea. I was like, it's probably a bad idea just because of, you know, having the shirts be accessible. I wanted the L-shaped ruin, the Live Love L-shaped ruins shirt to only come in size L. Obviously, that would exclude basically most people from me able to buy it. But it would have been a very funny bit. We need a question here. Should I buy Space Wolves Codex even this close to the 11th edition? Are you going to use it? And do you want it? Because even when 11th edition comes out, it still has cool art in there, has the lore in there. They're just nice to look at. Yorkshire Lab with the 10 bits. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Centurion character when? It's on. I have actually started working more on that. Never been into tournament play. I played with a couple of the guys when I first started, but on the bright side, I met a friend who cringed at the opponent. Recommendations for tournament play. I think tournaments are cool because, like, think of it this way, right? Again, compare it to like a video game. You've got ranked, right? But some people still do silly stuff in ranked and still do okay. And it's only really the top percentage that really need to care about the meta. Everything else you can win by just being a better player. Doesn't matter what you're using. Again, I say this a lot. If I give Scary, like, let's say I gave Scary 36 Centurions and took his like tournament winning list, he'd still beat me because he knows how to play the game fundamentally. Tournaments are just a good way of they're just events that you can just play a lot of games if you like the game. Again, if that's not for you, if you are someone who wants to be very much a more kind of bespoke, every game has to be more bespoke, I understand. But if you're just there, you just want to play, you know, kind of just play a game every so often, you don't, you know, you just want to pick up and play. It works a lot, and because it's so standardized and it kind of, you don't have to worry about going into a game, try and make it bespoke and realizing, oh, that, you know, we've set up this very cool looking thematic terrain, but the game is super one-sided, right? But not how to play better. Yeah, exactly. Like, when I went to the London GC, I think a lot of the people who either, you know, came to me and said hello, or some of my opponents were like, this is my first tournament, I'm really enjoying it. When 2-3 got free Dark Outer Box? Hell yeah. But again, it's one of those things. If it's like something that is not why you play the game, then it's fine. Remember more moments as I'm in a history lecture, but happy birthday. Thank you very much. I'm assuming you are listening to the history lecture and not giving the history lecture, because it would be very funny if they were around. I just goof around. I don't get much time to play, so when I do, I just screw off stuff like apes, corns. I mean, this is the thing, right? Again, someone took 3 Lord Quarter Skulls to the event. Someone took a Thunderhawk. People will take I take 80 Centurions, even though it is quite good now. But I've been doing that for ages. 80 squad Berserkers is hilarious. And again, if you just want to kind of goof around and play a game, tournaments are actually a good place to do it, because other people are doing it, and you'll just have a lot of fun. What was the most painful model to paint over attempted so far? Thousand Suns are an absolute nightmare to paint, I will say. I've only been to a couple of tournaments and all experiences. I've learned so much fast, and everyone I played with absolutely amazing. Exactly right, like, awesome. Wallace or Gromit? Gromit, 100%. What was the max point count for a tournament? 2,000 is the standard. I know that there's an organizer. I probably can't remember your name now. He does stuff in the Winchester area. He does kind of other funny, more Mike, that's his name. Mike. He does like doubles tournaments, speed hammer, 500 points. He does have a event where he does 3,000 points, which is a lot of fun. Apparently, I haven't been to any of them because he keeps putting them when I'm away. But like, he's got one upcoming. I think this weekend. I think he's got a doubles tournament, and I'm away. I play for fun with units I choose entirely based on vibe, not how good they are. Otherwise, my last game where I bought basically nothing but tanks would have been a terrible idea. I lost massive, but it was fun. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people at tournaments are going to play what they like. And this is the thing with like the 80 Centurions. I'm trying to make it work, and that is also part of the fun. And you can surprise people, because you're not going to beat a like top tier player playing a meta army. You're never going to do that, even if you yourself were going to play a meta army. So what's the point? You're probably going to be, you might be able to beat someone playing a meta army if they're like, you know, your level. They're just kind of trying to pick, you know, they've got their favorite, you know, they're not, you know, they've got their favorite, they're like Chaos Space Marines, let's say, and or they like, let's think of a better example. I think we could. Yeah, they like Space Marines. They like Ultramarines, so they're going to play probably like, you know, Gladius with yeah, they like Space Marines, right? Let me start this whole thing again and try to explain myself properly. You like Space Marines. You haven't got like a huge you know, you haven't got a huge preference of what you get. You just kind of want to play Space Marines. So you have a look and you go, okay, so it looks like Calgar, Root Gulliman, and like, you know, get some Vindicators and some Sternguard, blah blah blah. You get some like relatively basic meta list because you haven't got that much of a preference. You just kind of want to play something. So it's a relatively meta okay list, but you're probably going to beat them with your off the wall bullshit because you're more used to playing it, and they're kind of just like they're goofing off and having fun, but they don't have that much of an opinion on what models they like. And there's a lot more of those people than there are of the hyper meta, because the thing with people who are at the very top, they aren't meta chasing, they're meta creating. Like you can see this from, you know, people like Skari, like Clonius says, like Skari will play Drukhari whatever, and because he plays so much Drukhari, he can kick the shit out of you, even if Drukhari is bad, and he can use bloody Void Raven bombers as well, you know. And I think over you know, the end of 9th and definitely 10th, the number of people going to tournaments has increased, and a lot of the people who are going to the tournaments, a lot of that increase in number is from casual players who just want to go and have fun playing Warhammer with their thing. And that is, I think, kind of the turning point right now, is that most, if not all, the people you'll meet, like all of the kind of the I think what's happening really is the those kind of try-hard grognards are kind of being pushed out. They're being diluted because the people at the very top who've always been there are super nice and love the increase in the attention of their game and love being able to like share their knowledge and do all this stuff. All the people coming in who are new are enjoying the game because they get to play the game they like. There's a lot more support for it. You know, there's a lot more people like them just having fun. You know, you can kind of do whatever. Those people who were kind of like the mid-table, like meta chasers who were trying to do their best but weren't actually that good at the game, they're being kind of pushed out somewhat. They're not being tolerated anymore. And so, you know, they either sink or swim. They either go to the very top and then they have to kind of, when eyes are on them, they have to start behaving, or they get kicked out. 2k points double stomper list would be silly. It's tempting. Do it. Stompers are cool as hell. Meta armies are optimized for meta armies and then Scar can launch. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing is the meta is also dependent on like terrain type and your local, right? Like, it doesn't matter if the best, you know, if you're going in, like, oh, I picked this list has won every single like tournament, but it's all, you know, anti-infantry, and you go into your local tournament, and your local tournament has for the past 5 years been nothing but vehicles. You go, oh well, that's not very. This isn't very meta. No, not for you. Did you confirm it, or is it based on 3 years cycle? It's based on 3 years cycle, but. And this is the thing, like, again, for the meta for me, I'm in a really good position because the meta has basically wrapped itself around me. I was kind of improving and getting better with 18 Centurions, and then suddenly Shadow About Talent comes along, and 18 Centurions are actually really, really good. Like, 9 Centurions are technically better and more meta, but that's cowardly. I did play a guy who had almost 300 Gaunt variants. I played Monocorn Demons, it was a fun game. Tournaments usually care about 3D printed models? Nope. Don't give a shit. Like, people say, obviously, like, the GW specific ones, but bear in mind, GW were at the LGT and they did not care. Obviously, it's because it's not run by them. I think Warhammer World probably might be a bit more caring, but again, as long as you're not going, hey, guys, look at my 3D printed models, I don't think anyone's going to be there policing it, but I could be wrong about that. But I went to Warhammer World and I used 3D printed models. Don't, you know, GW, please don't come after me. You know, my Vanguard vets have got 3D printed jump packs and claws. My Shrike is a proxy, 3D print proxy. You know, no one cares as long as it is. Because here's the thing. I say that a lot. I realized in editing my the latest video for the Pile of Shame. I say here's the thing a lot. So here is the thing. They need a button that like brings up the thing. People worry about going, oh, you know, 3D prints and proxies. People are going to use that for various whatever. When you go to tournaments that have a painting requirement, the thing with that is that people get the 3D prints because they're cool and they want to show off the cool thing. They don't do it. But people who want to do it for an advantage aren't putting the effort in. Right? Betchers is probably having a headache trying to plan and buy and figure out how to make this is the thing, is yeah. But the people that they're the meta chasers, the people who are the meta creators, the top players, already knew that AdMech were good, or already have been playing AdMech. And again, it's not worth trying to fight around. You gotta just go with it. All the meta lists were either Knights or GC. Lists with strong answers to Knights GC. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, but again, when that was all around, there weren't. Here was the thing with that actually. One of the tournaments I went to, there was a lot of Death Guard players when it was good. But I only played against one because it was the first game and I lost, and so all the other Death Guard players won, and so I didn't have to play them again. And if I had to play them again later, it's probably because they lost twice, and then it wouldn't be too bad. And when you have and that's the thing, when you have the bigger the tournament, the more diluted that gets. Like, you know, what were the higher, you know, World Eaters had the biggest kind of share of players at the London GT, but not by much. It was like, you know, still, you know, 50 or whatever, maybe more than that. But still, out of 1,000, that's a lot. So you kind of need to go with an all-comers list, because if you're going, oh, I'm going to go anti-knight, and you never play against knights, then kind of stuff. And yeah, you're just going with what you want, basically. Play the game and see what happens. Would you be less judgy of unopened boxes if it was the price of using a 3D printed unit? I don't think I'd be any less or more judgy, to be honest. I'm not even that judgy. It's your money, I don't care. Calling on streams, it's right at the start of work, but wants to say happy birthday. Thank you very much. Welcome to the 35 and Married Club downhill from here. Hell yeah, I love being downhill from here. Favorite cheese? Halloumi, it's the only good one. What would heretical Screamer Ravens look like? What models or what chaos colors aligned? They'd probably go... They're probably like Night Lordy, I suppose. Kind of a mixture of Night Lord and Alpha Legion and maybe a bit of Iron Warriors. Russian Iron Priest used a lot in 3D print. And now he's worse from the advantage point because so much easier to see and shoot. That's the thing. Like, again, a lot of people usually model for disadvantage. And you put it on the table and people go, damn, that's cool. That's basically the thing. Do we get a look at your Aethan Shan? I will send a picture of my Aethan Shan at some point. I did actually take a vote of it recently. Yeah, maybe some Noise Marines in there. But thank you very much, Blim. Best drink for Warhammer games tournaments other than water? I usually just go with something like a Sprite or something. Like a lemonade. I guess it'll be Sprite or 7-Up, which we would probably call some sort of lemonade in the UK, but I don't think that's different to the US. I will say, speaking of kind of the proxies and stuff, I do have a hot take. I do not believe if you're a person who is going, I want to get in on the hot new Raven Guard, but I need Centurions. I don't like Centurions. I'm going to use Saturnine Terminators. Saturnine Terminators are, I think, an excellent proxy for Centurions. But I do not think, and I am being a gatekeeper, I'm being a nasty boy gatekeeper here. If you want to use Centurions in your list, you have to own at least 6 Centurions, real Centurions. You don't get to... You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to use their awesome stats line, their awesome rules, without investing into the models, even if you don't like them. You can't get around it with Saturnine. I'm sorry. If you have some Centurions already, if you have 6 Centurions, Saturnine up the wazoo. That's fine. But if you're trying to go, oh, I want to play, you know, Raven Guard is the hot new thing. I need some Centurions. I don't know the model. I'm going to use Saturnine. Get out of my house. Don't be a coward. Buy some real Centurions. Don't be a coward. You know, if you want to get in the Centurion house, you have to use the proper keys. Who's 75? Thank you very much for the super chat.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. The ROM dump rule. Exactly. You can have a ROM of any N64 game you like as long as you own the cartridge. Basically. Sprue Centurions. I mean, if you got a Sprue Bash, you might as well buy some new Sprues with some Centurions on it. Aaron Nicky, thank you very much for the happy birthday. Or gets a kickback for a Centurion sold. I wish I did. That'd be great. Gatekeeping is a good thing. It's a reason for it to stop making sense. The thing is, like, gatekeeping, I think, is one of those ones where the meaning of the kind of understood meaning of the word gatekeeping is bad, right? And there's realistic difference between a kind of the gatekeeping of, you know, you love Warhammer, name all 17 of the Emperor's best albums. You know, that's stupid. But then going, hey, you're being a twat, we don't want you here. That's not gatekeeping, that's just society. Especially because Saturnine Terminator is twice the amount of price for Centurions. Yeah, that's the thing, right? The thing is, I think people probably bought the Saturnine Terminator box without any ever intention of playing Horus Heresy and went, oh, I've got these, and Centurions are good now, so I'm going to use 6 devs. I'm like, no. You go out and you buy yourself some Centurions. I know you think they look dumb, but you're wrong, and fuck you. Name the Warhammer exactly. I've only got 6 dev cents, so how would you spend the points for a 3-man elsewhere? So that would be 165. I don't know, actually. It's a tricky number of points. Probably more jump stuff. You could get close, if you have a few extra points here and there, you get close to another 10 JPIs or 5 JPIs and like a character. Name all 40,000 Warhammers. How many Centurions would you need to graft together to make a Knight proxy? Like 12. Maybe 8. Maybe 10. Somewhere between 8 and 12. If they did make a Centurion character, what would it be like? I feel like Cents do quite a bit, so I'm interested to see what you think a character brings to the table. This is the thing. I think anything a character could do for Centurions is too much. Because even Uriel Ventress didn't even have to join the thing. Just giving them Deep Strike was a lot. If you think about the kind of stuff that you could get, free command points from a captain. Like, you'd have to do something similar to, I guess, like the Gravis captain, where realistically all you're getting is the free command points, and then the Gravis captains is just he takes less damage. I don't think he actually gives much to his squad. The other problem is then you have to consider, because as soon as you start putting characters in there, you have to consider enhancements, and that's where it gets scary. Yeah, so the Gravis and the Captain Gravis armor basically just does. You get the rights of battle for the stratagem, reduced cost for the stratagem, and the model itself has half damage. So you could do something like that where the model itself has something, but bear in mind you're giving that squad an extra Centurion, so you're getting an extra weapon lot in there. So let's say it's a 6 squad of Devastators, you're getting a 7th Devastator Centurion, and then if you give him something like, I don't know, the Blackwing Shroud, give him Infiltrate, let him Deep Strike turn 1, and that's just, that's just Raven Guard. Remember, like you could go scary with this thing. I think let's find probably what would be, for example, the best. What would probably be the best enhancement you could give. Let's say there was a Centurion captain that gave nothing else apart from the command point reduction. What could you put in there? Like, oh, look at that. While this bearer is leading a unit, ranged weapons by models in that unit have sustained hits 1. Horrifying. Give fire discipline to Centurions. Great news. What else we got here? Well, the bearer is leading a unit. They get feel up 6 up, feel no pain. Lovely. They can ignore cover. Nothing really useful in there. Oh yeah, while the bearer is leading a unit, once per turn, after making a hit roll or a saving throw, you can change it to a 6. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, to the bearer, I suppose. That's fine. Bearer. Reroll advance rolls while it's leading unit. There you go. In the Stormlance task force, while the bearer is leading a unit, they can fall back and shoot. Great. Thank you for that. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can do which gets a lot scarier suddenly. You've sent weapons assault. That's scary, yeah. Yeah, Rubik's getting AP4 is horrible. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's actually a very good point, because there's a lot of things that can carry 4 Centurions, which is not like they have, you know, a capacity of 16. Which is basically 3 Centurions, because you could do 4, but obviously nothing has 4. But if you suddenly have a Captain Centurion, you can have 4 Centurions coming out of a thing like that. I was disappointed when they took Centurions away from Euro Venture abilities. It didn't make a huge difference, but they focused on it. Just my personal. That is the thing, right? Like, it worked out in my favor though, because when they did it, they did buff Centurions points massively, which I think is the right thing to do. They basically went, yeah, this specific kind of combo is horrible, like, and it's not really, you know. It's niche and weird, so we're going to take it away. But for that, we're going to make it so that anyone else, all uses Centurions, will have a better time. I think that's fair, because it benefited me. And that's the thing that why I think when people go, oh, you know, for the uppy downy strap for Raven Guard, they should just exclude Centurions. No, that's stupid, because clearly Centurions is like just if you just start excluding Centurions from everything, then they just become a weird thing. You can do a lot of smarter buffs and stuff, and I think the smartest way to fix, I don't think you really need to fix Shadow Mark Talon. Like, not really. Like, the thing is, Centurions have always been as good as they are. It's only now that people have realized that, because when here's the thing. Again, I said here's the thing. They took it away from Euro Venture, so everyone went, oh, so Centurions are useless. But they haven't given it back, and now everyone's using Centurions again because they have another way of uppy downing them, which they never lost. You could always uppy downy them. And in fact, the only reason, you know, it's mostly because people don't use it, you know, because of it's a very, it's a very command point heavy list. But with Aethan Shan giving you free command points to use the uppy downy, then it's fine. Like, Centurions have always been this good. They've always been able to just come on the board edge and delete you. And I don't know why people forgot that until they went, oh yeah, you can do that. And everyone's now going, oh, Centurions are ridiculous. Like, yeah, I know. I was there. That I'm in Centurion with the assault detachment. Yeah, that was as well. That's very funny. Like, again, Centurions work in every single detachment. Just people dare not use them. But imagine a chaplain in Centurion armor, +1 to wound. Horrible. Have you share a birthday with your dad? Hell yeah. Your dad is 60 today. That's awesome. Happy 60th birthday to your dad. I don't know if Paul is that old. I'm old, I suppose. Not old. Not, you know, there are people who are older, but they're not as cool. Tech Marine Centurion. That was the thing. Like in 9th, you because characters weren't joined to units, they just had an aura around them. So in 9th, my plan was to get an apothecary and start reviving Centurions. Have a squad of 6 assault Centurions. Move them somewhere. If one of them dies, you can then revive it the other side and just get a load of extra movement. The idea is to have lockdown ground anchors turretify. I mean, you could do that with just a heavy keyword. I think that would probably be the smartest way to nerf Centurions without changing their point cost. Just make their main weapon heavy. And so, yes, you could deep strike it or bring it on at the... Not deep strike. You could, you know, reserve, bring it on at the board edge. But obviously that counts as moving, so you are less likely to hit. Not terrible. The most annoying thing they could do is nerf their points. Because it means I have to change my list and I'm lazy. And I think Athan Shan just does too much. He just does too much. Rerollable charge, free uppy downy. It's just a lot. My idea for the nerf, which I know they won't do it this way, but essentially my thought is like keep everything the same apart from the free uppy downy only works if you're doing the first part of it, which is the choose 2 Phobos and or Scout units. If you do that part of it, it's free. If you do the other part, you still have to pay for it. Because that basically means that it feeds into... Because people will then go, oh, but that kind of nerfs a lot more. But yes, but if the idea is that these to be very thematic Raven Guard ones, that makes it even more Raven Guard-y. By kind of pushing it that way. And you can still do it, it's just going to cost a little bit. Give the Centurion Hurricane Bolsters the pistol keyword. Fuck me, that would be scary. Dev Sense have always been solid, it's just on the margins they might have been a few points less efficient than other data sheets. And these are like extremes. That's the thing, like Dev Sense... I think when people think of Dev Sense, what's the thing that takes place of Dev Sense in a lot of lists? Probably something like a Vindicator. Like a big, heavy, lots of damage that they could bring on from reserve. But it's the missiles that really get you. Because scouts already can return to reserves. I think it's just a... Because scouts can't do it if you're within 6 inches of them. It's a way to get scouts up if things are closer. John's going to get a price hike and maybe lose the reroll. I don't think they'll lose the reroll. I think that's still fine. I could definitely see a price hike for Shan. I could definitely see him go to 100. And I think, honestly, that should be it. Take a fixed strategies or strategic. Always take tactical, draw the cards. Never do fixed. Cowardly, it's stupid, it's less fun. I say to my opponent every time, so I'm assuming you're doing tactical, and they go yes, and I go good, you're not a coward, and then we play the game. Do Scents have any access to torrent weapons? Yes, they can get flamers. On the assaults. On the assault centurions. So yeah. Assault centurions in the Salamander detachment is awesome. If Centurions the Phobos keyword, hell yeah. Would be an awesome way to make them taking over the missiles, though. The problem is the assault centurions get hurricane bolters. Unless you just make them slightly different. But here's the thing with Devastate Centurions, you don't want them to be in melee. So if they ever get into melee, you would rather just fall them back and shoot with their good weapons. And if you give the Assault Centurions Hurricane Bolters with pistols, then they're going to rip things apart. That is the one thing at the moment that realistically no Centurion does well, and that's melee killing hordes. But Melton... But the Melters are on the arms, right? The assaults. Well, the Melter nipples would be funny. Yeah, I like the Melter, but I like the Flamer when I put them in 6. I think it just works a bit better. Thank you very much for the happy birthday. They're the chest gun option? No, they're the wrist option. The Assault Centurions. The Assault Centurions have the Flamers or the Melters attached to the Siege Trolls. The chest options are either the Hurricane Bolters or the grenade launchers. And then on the oh, actually, here's a point I just thought of Ivy. The Devastated Centurions don't even get access to the Hurricane Bolters. They only have missiles or they only have missiles or the grenade. No, I'm wrong. No, you are right. It's Hurricane Bolters or missiles, and then it's Hurricane Bolters or grenade launchers, I think. No, I'm wrong. I'm being stupid. I need to double check now. I should know my Centurions off the back of my house. That's not phrasing. Yes, it is Centurion Bolters. Centurion Bolters get replaced with the missiles. That's the right. That's correct. That's correct. Yes, the Brutalis has the melted levels. Is this my first message? It was indeed your first. What about the Centurion Outrider who uses the Invader ATV instead of a bike, though? That'd be funny. Yes, the Brutalis has the melting nipples. Are there any of the non-character units you hope get a glow up in 11th edition? What else is there around that I like? I mean, new Vanguard vets would be nice. Although I've already got Vanguard vets. The grenade strat has to go. I like the grenade strat. I hate when it's used against me. But I like that it's a way of getting more, you know, it's a you have to use the it's a resource you have to use to try and get some mortal wounds through. Drones for 2 Plexus roller skates. Very funny. You watch a lad with another 10 bits, doesn't even know what Centurions do. I know, right? Fake Centurion. Yeah, rubrics are awesome. Have you seen the quest for cheese? I've not. Is died after not shooting or stabbing a single thing. Yeah, Brutalises are brutal to use. They can be a little bit hit and miss. I was thinking about something else about the grenade. Oh yeah, I've got a video. I've got several videos in the work, as I always do. One of them is going to be about what I want for 11th edition. The main thing, I think, and the thing that makes me... The thing that I don't like too much about 10th, and I think does need to be... It kind of causes a few problems, is the way that degrading works on vehicles. It's very... Like, for example, when you're playing against Vanguard Spearhead or Shadowmark Talon, obviously you're -1 to hit over 12 inches away, which is probably where all your tanks are going to be. So when you degrade a tank, nothing changes. They get -1 to hit for me degraded, but you already have -1 to hit, so it doesn't stack. If it was -1 ballistic skill, it'd be different. But it isn't, it's -1 to hit. So the difference between an 18 wound Rogel Dawn and a 1 wound Rogel Dawn for me is nothing. But if you lose 4 wounds from a squad of 6 Centurions, you lose a last cannon and a missile. So I feel like the way the vehicles degraded in 9th was good because they had like basically 3 tiers. That I think is kind of where vehicles. Although again, you could probably argue about the points cost for vehicles and the movement and the ability to do stuff with infantry because you can walk through walls and stuff changes the way it works. Blah blah blah. It's one of those ones that is a bit frustrating. I think that's one of the things with knights. Like getting a knight down to 1 wound means nothing. It doesn't matter what number of health a knight is against me. It only matters if they are alive or dead. So putting damage to a knight means nothing until it dies. That's kind of like one of the ones like Did Twitch take back their policy of mixing chats? Thought it was bannable. I mean, I've never had a problem, but I'm small enough that I don't think people care. I think if you're like a full big boy proper partner, maybe they care, but I've not had any problem. And I'm far too lazy to split them up. Would you like 11th edition to be totally retooled in 4K or kind of be 10.5? I think 11th will definitely be more of a retool in 10.5. I am of the opinion that 10th edition is good. And the changes they made and the way that they've kind of turned the path they're going with the game, especially stuff like splitting out the strength of weapons from the characters, so you're not doing like +2 or whatever. Or ×2. It's just the strength of the weapon is different to the stats of the character, and objective control is great, and the way they do the detachments are great, and a lot of the way the rules work are really, really good. I really, really like it. I think a good 11th will basically just be kind of like tightening up that stuff to fully realize it, and I think it would work well. I think they've done a good thing. Like, people talk about the psychic phase being removed. I don't want the psychic phase back. I think that the psychic phase being gone is good, but I do think they could do more with psychic, like they do in Age of Sigmar, where you can choose some stuff. Like, it'd be nice, essentially, for the psychic to essentially be like on the you know how on the sheet you have like some things just like at the start of your command phase pick one of these things to do. Essentially basically how Age of Sigmar does it. They have like stuff on the sheet that is like their psychic thing. I don't mind the fact that the weapon, like the shooting weapons, are psychic. Like the spells are all psychic weapons, because that's just a streamlined way of describing it. Because the difference is you just have everything be like Doombolt, which just takes up more words. Or you could go, we're just going to give you a gun that has the psychic keyword, and that shows that it's psychic. They could probably do more with it, but I do like that. Good for streamline, bad for fluff. I don't even, like, again, I'm not super deep into the fluff, right? But I don't think it's that bad for the fluff. Because you could still do... Like, I think it's... I know people talk about, like, the lack of having to pay for weapons and stuff is bad, but I don't think it is, because I think it's better... The way they're doing it where, like, take Scourges, for example. Scourges are now either Scourges with heavy weapon or Scourges with Shard Carbine. That's a good way of doing it. I don't mind not having to pay for war gear. It just makes things... It just does make... Obviously, balancing the war gear would be nice, but that's a different... And in terms of, like, fluff, like, I can make... Again, for me, I can make a fluffy army just as well as I could as before, so... That's my kind of weird side thing. The video said Spearhead is better than Combat Troll. Is it worth playing Combat Troll at all? Combat Troll is still worth doing if you're getting into the game. It's still definitely worth doing as a good way to learn, but Spearhead is just a better game and a better introduction to Age of Sigmar, I think, in terms of, like, getting the understanding of the rules. Like, Combat Patrol is good because going from Combat Patrol to a full game of 40k is not that big of a jump compared to going from... I feel like going from Spearhead to a full game of Age of Sigmar is a much bigger jump. And there's advantages and disadvantages. I'm probably giving Knights essentially 3 to 5 hitboxes is also really tough. The thing is, I don't like that because then it gets into the... Like, it was the same when you had, like, sides of a vehicle, right? It's very annoying to have to work out, okay... I mean, I guess if you're just aiming for hitboxes, that's not as bad. Like, having to go, like, aim for the weapons and try to take the weapons out would be quite fun. Because then you could decide, okay, do I go for the kill? I guess it's, it's Fear and Hunger, right? Fear and Hunger rules. Do you go for the head or do you go for the weapons first and slow it down? But then it might become a bit too overblown and too many stat blocks in that situation. I think there's a middle ground. I'm just about to get my first one for it's a few weeks or months, really depends on the season. Thousands won't have all these crazy tricks, just having a lot of dev wounds that Sisters and Silence and GK would block. But this is the thing, I think with Thousand Suns, the problem was, because I played Thousand Suns in Ninth, all of these tricks were just like, oh, you don't have a Psycho to use Deny the Witch. Okay, well, I'm going to spend a long time basically just doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And most people then just chose the same one anyway because it was really good. Like, Thousand Suns now, Codex Thousand Suns, it makes a lot of sense. Codex Thousand Suns is really good. But I do agree that Index Thousand Suns wasn't as interesting. Thank you, Sketchy Status, for the happy birthday. I would enjoy points upgrades like enhancements warrior, like 20 points, go unit +1. That would be interesting. I could see that maybe. Yours is tomorrow. Happy birthday tomorrow. I've not played Fear and Hunger, but I've seen a lot of I've watched a lot of videos on it. I watched the Sea Dog videos and Super iPad watch videos on it. It's a game that's very interesting to think and look about, but doesn't look very fun to play. You might redo Combat Patrol more for Spearhead. Yeah, I think because of the way it kind of works, it definitely feels like Combat Patrol walks to Spearhead could run, and then they're going to take the learning from Spearhead and put it back into Combat Patrol. Because Combat Patrols are really cool, because the idea of being like, oh, you want to play like a quick game, here's like a set list that you can use, and then have a load of like thematic ones. That's really cool. Good work on commissioners. Happy birthday. Thank you for joining. I'm hearing out all these weapon upgrades and key rules for very specific squads, etc. I don't think it could have gotten into it without 10th. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you could tell just by the number of people who started playing in 10th how nice it is to be able to get into more. Because 9th was fun, but it was so difficult. First game was a 3v3 1k points each. It was hell of an intro. Combat Patrol would definitely be less overwhelming. That is the thing. There's so much stuff in the game that Combat Patrol is good for just being able to go, here is your... You don't need to make a list. Here are your units. Here are your stratagems. It's not many things. Here's your tactics. It's a lot nicer. I nitty-gritty. Mr. Silly units to crunchy list and making interesting loadouts. That's the thing is I never... Again, obviously, I'm talking about my experience. I never really got to the point where I was going like, oh, I can do some really weird and interesting things. Like, whenever I played Drukhari, I was like, okay, I'm just going to... Oh, do I spend the less points to get something different on Scourges? No, I'm going to take the Dart Lancers. I'm going to pay the premium for the Dart Lancers. Now that premium is kind of in there, right? But I do feel like... I feel, but the other thing with that is like now, you know, now that the cost is built in, you're going to take it. And then you look at stuff like the Imperial Guard tanks, where it's like, okay, you can add a melter for free and a missile for free and some stubbers for free, and it's just like that used to cost something. But now, obviously, like again with the Drukhari, they've gone, here's your Scourges with big weapon and your Scourges without big weapon. The points difference is staggering. And I think that is a better way of doing it. I don't know how you fix that for tanks, but I don't think it matters. Thank you, Ogre and Sprue for the happy to you. You. Yeah, I like the idea of no facing Ivy, where it's just like you pick the target. That might be quite interesting. But again, it'll be... Yeah. As soon as we saw 10th, we immediately dropped trying to learn 9th. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, 9th is... Like, again, 9th had way too many options. 6 per detachment, 3 for the whole faction. I mean, that's the thing. Like, 10th already has that 6 per detachment. I like the idea of a lot of them becoming core, though. Or, in fact, like, reduce the number of stratagems you get per detachment to, like, 3. But have more generic ones. Because everyone has a... I'm trying to think of a good example for one that, like, a load of people have. A fallback and shoot, right? Or a surge move, or a reactive move. You could have those as generic, and then kind of have them cost 2 command points. Then maybe have your detachment have, yeah. Let's say you got all those ones like fallback, shoot, and charge. Again, example: fallback, shoot, and charge, grenades, the uppy downy, reactive move, surge move. All of those become generic, but they cost 2 command points. And in your detachment, you get some really cool detachment ones that are really unique. And it also says this detachment grants you -1 cost on these stratagems. So each detachment has like the stratagems that are more kind of, sorry, I keep fiddling with something. The stratagems that are more fluffy for their detachment get cheaper in the generic ones, so you don't have to like have the same ones coming up over and over again. But Wargame Free requires all the wargames to be actual side raids. Oftentimes feels it's just an best choice. The thing is that the problem with that is there always was an objectively best option, and it was rare that, well, again, I don't have enough experience and I don't know enough about that. I'm sure there are plenty of examples where this is not the case, but it often for me when I was playing 9th felt like either your option was you get the unit and pay for the upgrade, or you just don't take the unit. I think this is definitely different when you're looking at stuff like the battle lines. Cabalite Warriors, I can definitely see with Cabalite Warriors or with Witches going, I'm not going to take the upgrades, I'm just going to give them all generic weapons, just so I can have some like things with objective control. That makes sense, I can see that. But when you're looking at kind of like your specialized stuff, you either took the upgrade or you didn't take it at all. You can give a group of strats to armies attached to... Oh yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Like you have a generic set. Like you get access to the like the strategic detachment set or the power detachment set, like the tactical one or the devastator one or the whatever the third part of Gladius for the Jokers. And then have the detachment ones be super unique and interesting. Like, have you seen the Witch Cult ones? God, they're cool. One of the Witch Cult ones is you get to charge in your opponent's movement phase. God, that's sick. Don't know how I'm going to start. I feel a bit intimidated. Do you have any tips? Being Lamenters? I guess, like, what, again, as with any army, what do you think is cool? Get some of those. And then start from, then see where it goes. That sponsor needs to go back to cost, though. I like City Fighter tanks without sponsors for style. There. That makes sense to me. That is the thing, like, the sponsors and stuff is a bit... Because, yeah, like with the Storm Raven, you can equip it with 2 Hurricane Bolters. You absolutely would, because it's free. And Hurricane Bolters are insane. You Yeah. Then you just end it with model spam where cheap units can flood the board. That is exactly the thing, right? Yeah. So that was the counter to that, is you go, you know, the cost of the weapon is part of the unit, but then if you just wanted a bunch of chaff to fill up the board, you could do that without the special weapons, and then that would be, again, it's another balance point. Yeah, 9th units were either fully upgraded or kept as clean as possible. There wasn't really ever that kind of... It's something I always bring up when we talk when we talk about this, like we ever talk about it. But people talking about talent trees in games. I look at the Path of Exile one, and I go, I feel like with this, I'm sure Path of Exile is a great game, and I'm sure it's a really fun tree. But as someone coming into the game, I look at that and just go, am I really going to spend the time to try and learn all of this stuff? Like, try and, you know, read through it all, try and work out the best path? Or am I just going to go... I'm just going to look online and find a build. That's the thing, right? Like, when you give people lots and lots of options, only a small number of people are actually going to use that, and everyone else is just kind of follow the herd, if you see what I mean. Or there's going to be a status quo. When if you kind of reduce the options, you actually increase the amount you get to explore those options, because you haven't got such a big, you know, you're not looking at such a massive group of options. You're looking at a few options and making your own decisions, while with a big tree, you're kind of going, some of these are kind of so pointless additions. But again, some people love that, right? As a search bar for it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, again, there's probably ways around it. The idea is that giving you options, if you don't take them, that's on you. But that's the problem, is if you give people lots and lots of options and you go, oh, if you don't take the options, that's on you. But the problem is, if 90% of those options are kind of not as good, then you might as well just give the 10% and then let everyone be able to feel like they can get their head around it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, what's a real option? And again, like, it's not unsolvable. Like, you could go back to like the 9th edition, having lots and lots of stratagems and really have all those be quite balanced. But when when that field is so large and so wide, it's so difficult to kind of work out exactly. Like, boarding action both existing as game types is hindering both. I think they're very different. I think the problem is boarding action hasn't really been like boarding action. Isn't really being sold as a way to learn. They are two separate things. They're just neither of them are just very popular. But again, like with a lot of the stuff you can do, like again I mentioned earlier about the current White Dwarf has a really cool like biker mode, or you know, the tank for the Thanksgiving tank mode. There's lots of fun modes you can do with 10th, or Poor Hammer's Horde mode. I feel like 10th is such a good baseline to expand upon. Especially for homebrew, like homebrewing the Screaming Ravens is so easy in 9th, because you're just looking at you got so many keywords that help. You can just need 4 enhancements, 4 enhancements, 6 stratagems, and a rule for detachments. I managed to build 3 of the army, but all my vehicles from scratch. There was a plan between me and my friend where my orcs would go against 3 of them Dark Angels, but they used 1,000 points. That sounds cool. But weird how you can add stuff to vehicles without point changing. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like, in 9th, there were times where you go, would you... Basically, this vehicle is not worth it unless you can pay the points. So if you can't pay the points, don't take the vehicle. Now that kind of everything has all the upgrades, you can kind of balance it more around that. Which makes sense, right? That's the problem with the options being bad, not the amount of options. But the thing with that is, as you increase options, it's more and more difficult to make every option good. It's one of those kind of... Unless you made everything so flat, it's very difficult to start to analyze as number of options increase, which ones are bad. And then if you are balancing them all, then that is great. But I don't feel like... I feel like there is a limit.
Trouble!
Yukoski, yeah, thank you for raiding. How was your stream? Hope you're doing well. I feel that there's a point between where options become interesting or not, right? Again, if you played World of Warcraft, you had the talent trees and then they changed them to just having like the 3 different options of abilities. I loved that. And when they changed it again in, was it Shadowlands? That one kind of was the best of both worlds, where you have kind of your core things in there. I didn't mind that too much, but I like the idea of going like, here are your choices and having like different ones there. There's a point where it becomes different. But again, you look at something like the Centurions, right? You're not taking the grav cannons because the las cannons are just better. That is where this falls apart, which is where I would agree that having those options need to make sure they are kind of somewhat balanced. Which is why they split off like stuff with Scourges, like I say. Or all of the Crisis Suit variants all getting split off. Went well, thanks. Stream was a good one. Awesome. What were you doing over on the Kokosuke stream? And we'll go say hello to Kokosuke. There's some cool gaming stuff. I think I've seen you play like Animal Crossing and stuff, and all very, very chill. And then drops like Gala style Harrison kill team. And this is like boarding action. Like, I guess one thing with this is it's wild that how much bigger 40k is. Like 40k at the LGT took up basically the entire bloody thing, and then every other game had a tiny space. It was ridiculous. My strats were awful looking back. It was cool at the time. I have recently moved my strat decks. What a waste of cards. Yeah, they were absurd. Especially because how many command points you get? Like 12, and then you're spending loads at a time. Oh, well, does customization well in my opinion? That is fair. I think on Thursday I am going to do a stream. I did the stream where I went to kind of Horus Heresy. I'm probably going to do that for not so much the lore, but definitely the gameplay of Trench Crusade, because I like looking at other game systems to see what's out there. Look, again, I am a big fan of 10th, and I think 10th is great, and I am very much one of the kind of the very positive about 10th. Like, I think stuff like, you know, getting rid of the costs is actually better overall and that kind of stuff. But I can see where people are coming from. But I like looking at other games. Like, looking at Horus Heresy, there was some really cool stuff in there that I did quite like. And there was some stuff I didn't quite like. But there is some cool stuff in there. Base-to-base aiming is a big one. But yeah. The New Horizons... New Horizons 1, we did start Pokemon Legends ZA. Oh, nice. How is Legends? I actually kind of want to get that. I've heard it's not too bad. Yeah, I haven't seen much of Old World. But I think, again, Age of Sigmar, from what I've seen, is pretty good in terms of, like, having the spells and stuff does help in terms of, like, having those choices. I think that could be where you kind of get from. I've heard of Turn 28. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen much about it. Again, that's on the kind of the list. There's like a load of ones I want to come through and have a look. Kind of go through and have a look. And thoughts about 36 Centurions of Wrath of the Rock? I am making a 36 Centurion video. Wrath of the Rock is one of the better ones. But yeah, I'll need to do a bit more diving. Also, an interesting question: what will they add, change to make 11th feel significantly different to 10th? I don't know. I don't think they need to. Is the thing. I would definitely like to see, as much as I love L-shaped ruins, I definitely think terrain could be more interesting, and cover could be more interesting, but not so much that it's horrific, because that was the problem with 9th. If they just made it, like, my biggest thing I want to see is make everything base to base for aiming, not true line of sight. That would be perfect. And then that would be a significant change up. Significant enough that I think it would cause. But again, it's one of those ones where I don't want to make changes for the sake of changes. That's why I think 10th is good, because they made a lot of changes, but they weren't just for the sake of changes, like increasing the range of strength and toughness, changing the way the data sheets work. It had a goal to it, and I like that they're working towards that. 11, like, I think it's just kind of like maybe like a you know, do a bit more stuff with Psychic, more stuff in the command phase, make it base to base. I do think terrain should be part of the game more. I like the fact that a board is super easy to kind of set up for tournaments and stuff. I think terrain could be more interesting. And like, But again, it's difficult. I'd like to see more verticality. That's something that has really been lost, I think. And again, I didn't really ever have it much in 9th anyway. They had plunging fire. I've only ever had plunging fire used against me once. And I still don't know what it does. I'd love to see a bit more verticality. But again, that is a difficult thing to kind of work around. But I quite enjoyed, as weird as it was, the way that Shatterpoint does it. I like the fact that Shatterpoint had verticality. But all armor's getting new rules in one go. Yeah, the big thing, actually, to be fair, if they went into 11th and changed no rules, they said, we are just doing 10th again. We might do a couple of upgrades here and there, but it's just 10th again. However, we are now doing the thing that everyone's been asking for. Codexes, you can still buy them. They're going to have the data sheets, they'll have points in there. But most of it is going to be fluff, art, how to paint, tutorials, all that kind of stuff. And I'll have the Crusade rules in there as well. All of the data sheets, the data sheets, the attachments, all of that stuff. Either you can buy the stratagem, the codex, and get it on the app, or hey, if you want to subscribe to Warhammer Plus for 5 whatever's a schmingle, you can get all of the rules digitally. That would be perfect. Like, just that. Do what everyone has been asking. Make it so that... Again, I'd love it if all the rules were free. If all of the rules for all the factions were free, perfect. If they just... Even if they just tie it to Warhammer Plus, like a cheap subscription, Crusade should be its own separate paperback book with filled your own data. Yeah, or yeah, and then you can have either the codex that has all the stuff in it, but it might become outdated and gives you a code for the app, but has a lot more fluff in there. Or if you don't want that, Warhammer Plus, there you go. You get all of the rules anyway. And if you do want the Crusade stuff, hopefully they can make an app for it. Or you can just buy like a Crusade little booklet as well, or get the book. We'll put the booklets on Live Crusade. Get more people into Crusade. Mesmerize, thank you for the 3 months in a row of Twitch subscription.
Paul
So stream, happy to be here.
Yes.
All the 6, yes. I would be up for more Shatterpoint. Yeah, I love Shatterpoint. Was really fun. The one game I played. I'd love to play more of it. Can we make cover just be based on draw a line between the middle of both units? The problem is how do you determine the middle? Like, if it's an obscure shape, is it like the center person? I don't mind the way that the lines work for cover at the moment. But I can kind of see your point. Like, if it's like between like 1 or whatever, but I like them to fix the 1 inch away from the wall thing. I think just make it so that is it one of them says if it's 2 inches away it's fine? I think that works. Or just make it so you can't fight through a wall at all. Wait, no, that's the problem, isn't it? I don't know. Just make that less of a thing. Have you ever tried Crusade? I feel like I don't know anyone's played it. I have done Crusade, yes. Crusade is fun. I have some issues with Crusade, but mostly it's really good. My issues with Crusade are mostly skill issues and also dice. Deciding, oh, you've got 2 battle scars here. One for your Centurions. Oh, they can't be led by characters anymore. Oh no, what a shame. Oh, the one for your Vanguard vets, which you've given Scout and Advance and Charge. Yeah, they can't advance anymore. And also they're OC 0, so they're basically worthless. You might as well get rid of them and start again. Breadle with cheese, hello. I like a 1 price for all codex so I can think of building another army and I'm more likely to buy another army. Right, I go rule cool. But this is the other thing, right? Is most people aren't buying the codex just to go, oh, I want to try another army. They aren't buying the codex. They're just going to a lot of the free resources that are out there to do it. So I feel like 11th is the time for GW to not change the game much, but change the way they structure the releases. Rasmatronic, thank you for subscribing for tier 1. And I think they are going that way. Because obviously they went from going, we're going to do points updates every 6 months and then rules updates. So points updates every 3 months to rules updates every 6 to do everything every 3. I feel like they are getting that way eventually. I think they're going to do it. Steve thinks Crusade is perfect because he had a low, not fucking despoiler. Look at Pathfinder, the rules are free and they still make bank. I mean, this is the thing, right? The biggest hurdle for GW right now is not the... I don't think it's anyone at Games Workshop. I don't think any of the rules writers are twiddling their mustaches going, haha, we'll keep the rules expensive. The problem is they're a publicly traded company and capitalism. I have been made redundant because of the stupid, short-sighted rules of capitalism. Or, stupid, short-sighted thought processes to save a buck. And, that is the biggest hurdle with GW. And the thing is people, talk about price rises or whatever and all that stuff. It's not an exclusive thing to GW. I think it is more in the wargaming space because they're the biggest and they are actually, like, not many other companies making games are, these publicly traded looking for shareholder, trying to back shareholders, right? It's one of those ones where I think there will be a turning point where it's essentially what needs to happen is that there's a turning point where there's a bean counter going, it would make more sense to do it the way that everyone wants to do it. And that's what they need to kind of get towards. And I think it is going that way based on just the way things are going. So I'm hoping they do. That decision's gone well. It's gone well for me. To be fair, it might be going well for my previous employer, to be fair. Maybe getting rid of me was the right choice. Maybe I was useless. Maybe my building up my career of 11 years was a waste of time. But it's my birthday. I'll dance the way I want to, which is sadly in the corner and crying. They said 20 quid to unlock the digital rules in the app. I would pay that over the rulebook. The thing is, the core rulebook in the app is free, right? Because the core rules are on the PDF, so you can definitely get the core rulebook for free. It's the codexes that are the big problem. On the bus, so I can't listen at the moment. What should I do? Cool. It'll probably be on the I'll probably put it on the VOD channel. I might keep this one on this channel, to be fair. I'll put it on the VOD channel as well, but I might not get rid of this one so people can catch up. Don't even code. No, that's fair. Yeah. The core rules are I like the fact that the core rules are online. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, the codexes are the big problem, especially because of how slow they come out. Repainting an entire army would be guard. What? Why would you repaint an already painted army, especially if it's guard? Why don't you do something cool like Scream Romans? And my first game with the new Votann codex update, it's interesting. How did it go? How did you find it? I've heard the new Votann are pretty good. Like the new, I really like the yield system. Again, I don't know about it in practice, but I like the idea of it. And all of the best or the most fun rules I find are the ones that that have that kind of back and forth that you can kind of flip and manipulate, like a little internal mini game. Like the Scintillating Legion, being able to give back and forth the dice, or probably the best attachment they've ever made, which is not what I want to play, but what just in like thought process, one of the best ones I've ever made, which is Reaper's Wager. Like having the loser and the winner of the wager go back and forth is so cool, and I love anything that goes, you get a stratagem says you get this bonus, or if you're in this mode, you get this bonus instead. Not bad, but trying to kill vehicles felt like a slog. Yield system is interesting, but if I need to shoot at something not an objective, half the rules don't work. I guess that's the thing, right? Like it's I guess that's the way it works. Like if they're not gonna stand on objectives, you go, okay, I'll stand on the objectives, and then you can't kill me. And if they go, okay, we'll stand the objectives, you go, okay, we'll kill you. I kind of like it. Again, it's one of those ones where I because I don't have any experience with actually playing it. I think it's one of those ones which a good player who kind of understands how can get the most out of it will do very well. This is the other thing, another thing I was thinking about, because obviously, people like Space Marines at the moment are, apart from a few builds, usually fairly low win rate, but I think that's fine. I don't think Space Marines should ever be top of the quote-unquote meta, because they're the beginner army. Again, to go back to a video game, with League of Legends, for example, Garen, for example, is a very simple, baby's first champion. If he was also extremely powerful, it would kind of be stupid. And it has happened. It is dumb. It's very dumb. So having Space Marines be kind of like that, you could try everything kind of jack of all trades, master of none, just to get people in the game is good. Then having those weird offshoot builds be very good, I don't mind. Again, it's very different between a video game and Warhammer. And going like, oh, Space Marines should never be good is definitely wrong. They should be good if you could put the effort in, but they should also not be good straight away, right? They should be easy to play, difficult to master. And then some armies, like Gene Stealer cults, for example, like, or AdMech is a good one. Like, if AdMech are like always in like the 52-53% win rate in terms of like high performing at top tables, it's not too bad. If they're like 40 something overall, but they're high at the top end, you know, because they're a difficult army to play. I don't know. Those are more generic characters most armies. Them getting all the love is fine if they're never meant to. Yeah, that's the thing, right? The reason they have all the love is because everyone who starts playing probably started with a Space Marine army. For 9th edition, I started with a Drukhari army, not a Space Marine army. Because I went in there going, oh, I started a Space Marines when I was a kid, I should not do that. Most people, when they come into the game, probably play Ultramarines. If you're someone who's played Space Marine 2 goes, oh, I want to try the game of the Warhammer board game, or the tabletop game. I want to play as my dude in Space Marine 2. I'm going to play the Space Marines. Or, you're a woman and play Tyranids. That's very stereotypical, I do apologize. But you see what I mean, right? Like, there's a reason that they are so well supported. And you see the jokes about, oh, look, another Ultramarine release. But yeah, it can get tiresome. The Mightiest Calgar one was a bit weird because obviously a couple of things got leaked and then they already had stuff built up, so it did feel like there was a lot of stuff happening. But again, it's like, yeah. Again, Drukhari players were very unfortunate because obviously they got stuff taken away from their codex, and then they had all of this like, oh look, here's some Assault Terminators and Mightiest Calgar and blah 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 blah. But then, if you're only ever going to look at the game from what other people get, you're never going to have fun. Rather than looking at what you do have. And the Drukhari Codex, cool as fuck. The Crusade rules for Drukhari are hilarious. I fucking love them. They're so good. If you do too well as an Archon, the Archon dies. Or you have to get rid of your Archon or your Supreme Commander or whatever. Because Vect just goes, either I want him dead, I want him as part of my team, or he's got to get out of here, he's got to run. But then if you take over a rival Archon or whatever, a rival, what do they call them? Like a rival leader, you can add a fresh, like, for example, a fresh Archon to your Crusade list with 16 experience already. So they get like 2 upgrades. So you basically can like start collecting powerful Archons that are going to take over eventually. It's so cool. I'm currently a top army, but they're a bit challenging to get to top tournament performance out. Yeah. So yeah, like the Blood Angels. There's a lot of builds out there that are very good. Like Shadowmark Talon is definitely one that's very up there. But Space Marines should have like a lot of options, and I don't mind that too much. I do usually use my stratagem to lower my yield points to hostile acquisition on my turn to get reroll advantage charge, and then went my yield point up for fortifying. That's very cool. I think I was using the rules correctly, which might have flopped it. Yeah, this is the thing. I think it's quite a complex thing, but yeah. Again, needs more variety outside of Space Marines having 40,000 options. I mean, I don't disagree. I definitely would like to see a lot more stuff for Drukhari, for example, but you know, at the end of the day, I'd rather kind of look at, basically, I'd rather be a positive person, right? Like, so with Necrons never touched Space Marines, that's fair. I'm sure there are people out there who never did, but I think the majority of people are probably going to be playing Space Marines. And I think, yeah, like, I do get a lot of it. It's just like most people aren't too serious. They're just like, haha, oh look, haha, look, another Ultramarines thing, and they're not like too serious about it. But there are some people who do kind of will get worked up about it, and it's a lot better to just be like, just kind of look at what you do get, right? But again, that isn't to like, I don't want to say that like to try and be flippant about the fact that yes, Drukhari got fucked. But also, like, you could spend the time worrying about that, or you could spend the time having fun with Drukhari, because Drukhari does look pretty cool. You reckon GW has gotten lazy with new models? No, absolutely not. I was seeing how absolutely massacred Sangreed Guard are. I think Sangreed Guard are fine. The biggest crime that Sangreed Guard had is they were okay. They weren't that interesting. But then you look at like you say are they getting lazy new models in Sangreed Guard, but then you look at the Space Wolves release, and you go, oh boy. And if you ever want to see that how not lazy GW is, just go and look at Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar is just every time Age of Sigmar does a release, I'm just like, sorry, every time they do like a reveal show, like, oh, okay, here's the reveals for 40k, and you go, oh, those are cool. And they go, oh, by the way, here's the reveals for Age of Sigmar. Oh, it's like a giant tree guy riding a beetle. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, like Wolf Priest model goes hard. Big Bad Wolf, what's his name? The chapter master, his model is insane. The new Nightbringer looks fucking sick. Like, I honestly think maybe it was just Blood Angels got a bit of the wrong end of the sticks. That's the problem. I'm one of 3 trans girls in my friend group. The other 2 are more girly girl, and both play Bastard Sisters. The whole meme. Yeah, to be fair, like I think people just like, people like what they like. And also, I think to be...
Hey there, big man. As you can see, I just got home. I wish you all the best, my guy. Also, if that makes you feel better, I have my BD on this Friday.
Happy birthday for Friday. I think a lot of people have said they have a birthday around now. Probably because people come in and go, hey, my birthday's nearby. People who don't have a birthday nearby might be like, oh, hey, my birthday's in 7 months. Yeah, I think yeah, it is. I think, yeah, women, I think, just find critters cute. Because they are. Like, Tyranids can be kind of cute. Like, oh, look, look at the cute little Gribbly. I don't know. What do you think of Secretile robots? I think they're really cool. I like them. I wish they were bigger. Logan Grimnar, thank you. Birthday was the 8th to the 6th. Happy birthday for the 8th. Oh, yes, you turned 30, yes. Good luck with the lack of knees. Ivy showing their hand there. Are you saying that Krieg aren't the cutest models? I am saying that, yes. Because Centurions exist. When they went all Cthulhu, she lost interest. That's fair. I think isn't there a meme that the trans community really like World Eaters as well, which is very funny. I don't know what it is about that, but more power to them. As the saying goes, you do you. Wish me happy birthday for upcoming July. Oh, happy birthday for July. I will not wish you happy birthday again until next October, where I'll wish you for the next July. You going out for a pint this evening? I'm not. I'm going to stay in, probably have some pizza. Not a big pub person. And I don't drink anyway, so... But I will probably have a nice drink. I'll have a nice drink. I'll get a nice pizza. Thank you for the happy birthday. Did I kit bash and Salamander Outriders riding Salamanders? Hell yes. You say it right. Kit bash some Salamander Outriders riding Salamanders. I demand that it isn't just like the bike is the Salamander. You've said Salamander Outriders riding Salamanders. The bike needs to be on top of the Salamander. So it's a Salamander carrying the bike. Oh dear. What I have on my painting desk right now? A project I can't tell you about. I hope you mean a real Salamander. Yeah, that has to be a real Salamander as well. And two unpainted minis. Aren't primed. You could pass Seraphon from AOS to Salamander Mans. You could, yeah. I've seen Seraphon World Eaters, which is cool as hell. It's because no matter who or what you are, since we're all human, we all understand rage. So World Eaters are simple to understand. That is very true. I think, yeah. It doesn't matter, who you are. Everyone understands pure, unbridled rage. And so World Eaters are relatable to everyone. I accidentally mixed up too much being on my palette. Time to quickly start on my land speeder. Or an entire Emperor's Children army. Reason of my guard redone. It's my birthday. It's my birthday on Halloween, and I'm having some friends play Warhammer Horde mode. Hell yeah! I have enough pink space marines in my army. True. You always have more pink, probably. Currently playing 10 Berserk Boys. Hell yeah! Thank you, the great old one. Thank you for the happy birthday. Right. I have had a great time. Thank you for just chatting. It was a lot of fun just chatting, actually. Yeah, I miss streaming because I haven't done it the past couple of weeks. But I do need to head off. I've got some things I need to do before the woman gets back from work. And I have some nice pizza. But thank you very, very much for joining me. If you aren't already, please go ahead and subscribe because I want to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. Probably won't happen, but there you go. And I'll be back on Thursday. There'll be a stream Thursday. And there'll be video Friday. Back to normal schedule. Thanks for all the happy birthday wishes. Thanks for all the super chats, all the members, all the Twitch subs. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you next time.